Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to round 13. We are back here for MotoOption Supercross in Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight, and we have a fantastic race lined up for you guys. We had a weekend off, or a week off, I guess I should say, so we got a little bit of a reset coming into these last 5 rounds of the series, but boy, they are going to be a lot of fun. Both the 450 and 250 West Championship standings still up for grabs, and then we'll be back racing 250 East here shortly in Salt Lake City. Let's actually take a look at our season schedule real quick before we get into tonight's action, as we are now back racing here tonight, April 7th in Atlanta Motor Speedway, the first of 3 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and then those 2 final rounds in Salt Lake City. That last one in East-West showdown. So we got the West guys for another 3 rounds, then go back to the East 250 class. But as mentioned, it's more about this 450 class that a lot of people are paying attention to. And let's go ahead and take a look at our qualifying times from here tonight on this long racetrack, very, very long Atlanta Motor Speedway track, as we get a look here at those qualifying times. And Tyler Lang looks to have qualified fastest on a 142.6, just outdoing Braden Carter. Leclerc, Leitzel, Hubbard inside of the top 5, but look at that 142 in Supercross. Can you believe it? I don't think we've ever seen lap times this long ever in a Supercross race. Looking at those 250 West standings, Payson Johnson by almost 2 seconds on Tyron Tomich goes to the top of the sheets there in that 250 West division. Trevor Burns, Bryce Whelan, and Ethan Gerst up there in the mix as well. Now, the one caveat to focus on tonight, perhaps, is that Braden Carter, I believe, is not at home. He's in Hawaii right now, playing on a laptop. So, as he is our 450 championship leader right now by 24 points on Jack Haley, this could be one of those rounds that completely flips the script. We've seen Carter struggle to make main events earlier in the season. Haley's had his bad luck. Lang has been steady, and that's why he's in this title fight. And Leclerc, we obviously know the DNF-DNS situation that he had 2 rounds ago. So he went from the championship lead now down to 29 back, but this 450 class still very close at the front, and anything could happen in these last 5 rounds. Payson Johnson, however, though, extending his championship lead with his win last week on Tanner Rogers, now out to 24 points as he's trying to basically establish himself as the guy to beat in this series, and so far so good as he looks to click off his 4th win of the season here tonight in Atlanta. Well, a lot of you guys are probably here to see what the racetrack looks like, so why don't we go ahead and take a look at it. From my perspective, I'm not the best player at this game anymore. I used to be a lot better. But this is a extremely long racetrack, and I'm sure, like I said, a lot of you guys are interested to see how this one plays out tonight. So out of the first corner, a little double into some rollers, then a hip jump double into a triple, and then this big bull berm, and then get on the power to triple back into the next corner. Left-hand turn, and then right up to the finish line jump. Very Daytona-esque kind of style so far, but it's going to get a lot gnarlier, as I said, those long lap times. After the finish line jump, maybe the trickiest section on the track we'll have all night long, as I'm going to make a mistake, and they're going to restart the server, so I can't even get through it, but let's see if I can maybe run over there before they get... I think this was just the UID grab, perhaps. Or no, maybe we're already loading into that first 250 West heat race. But anyway, we'll see more action from the track in this 250 West heat race coming up. So sorry, I was trying to start the stream a little earlier tonight to show off the track, and I just didn't quite get it. But we'll start off in this 250 West heat race tonight with a little bit of onboard action so that you guys can see the track. Again, like I said, I think you guys are probably here to see what the track looks like tonight. But let's kick things off, first of all, by welcoming on our new sponsor on the stream specifically, not on board of the Race Factory, but on board with us here at Start Your Systems. It's R Jerky, eatrjerky.com. That is the Wageman brothers, RJ and Robbie, putting that together. You guys have maybe heard of them on the Pulp MX show before, but they make some fantastic product. If you guys are fans of beef jerky and you want to try some out, use the code SYS20, that's SYS20 at eatrjerky.com to get 20% off your order. And we're very proud to have them on the stream with us here this evening and for the rest of the season. But head over there if you guys want to get a little discount, get in on the action, and support the Wageman family as they continue to duel it out each weekend in real-life Supercross racing. Obviously, Robbie doing very well on that Nuclear Blast Solitaire Yamaha effort, but obviously we also know about RJ and all of his endeavors throughout the years, and him making some main events even last year. So we're looking forward to seeing how the Wageman brothers continue to do, and head over to eatrjerky.com and use SYS20 to get a discount today. 250 West Heat number 1 coming up on the gate right now. We're going to go ahead and Disco Rico real quick. And we'll have 250 West Heat guys on the gate, are actually perusing the track a little bit. In fact, while they're doing this, I'm going to try to really quickly get a quick glimpse at the track where I hadn't gone so far. So we went through this first little section, obviously this double over the finish line jump, and then down this straightaway. So it's a little roller double and then a split section here. Left side, you're going to want to triple to the outside, or right side, triple to the inside, and then double down the back side of this jump, and then triple around this turn right here, and then double over this guy into this section, a little double into this far corner. Long left-hand sweeper. This track goes on forever. Big triple coming back to the center of the track. These guys will land off this, triple into the rollers, double over the backside of this, and then triple to the downside of this jump right here. Single into the corner, outside triple on off this table right here as we're following the 758, it looks like, around here, and he's kind of showing, or the 759 I should say. So triple in out of this corner, the quad over this, and downside this to then triple on, step off into this berm out here. Different options, of course, always aplenty in these sections. Out of this bowl berm, a very tall and steep whoop section this week into this double, and then another long left-handed sweeper. That is only like half the track so far. The track just keeps on going here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and these heat races are going to be a lot shorter because of it. We're going to see probably 4 to maybe 5 lap heat races in these 6-minute plus 1 lap affairs. The times are very, very high, so we could very well see just a 4-lap heat race depending on how it kind of plays out. I think actually it's going to click on to lap 2 after they go over the finish line jump right there at the end of the kind of first couple sections, but we'll see kind of how it plays out. So here we go, 250 West heat action, heat number 1 on the gate. We got Payson Johnson right in the middle there, those red plates, and he's getting ready to try to take on the rest of the field as we go racing in Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first time, dropping the gate right now. And Johnson in a land rush into that first corner up the inside. The 44 Team Nami effort pushes him outside, and up the inside, it's going to be Johnson's teammate Trevor Burns to initially grab the whole shot, but Johnson going to go to the lead, and we're going to see how these guys navigate through these first couple of sections as Johnson and Burns, the two Panini Motorsports riders, right out front, swing around the outside and then double to carry some momentum into the finish line jump. So that completes lap number 1, if that's what you want to call it. And then through this section, let's see the options. So Johnson's going over, then triple, actually. So a different line than what I've seen so far today. And then triple, quad around the corner, then double out. Man, Payson Johnson carrying a lot of speed through those S sections. Double into this corner, around the inside through the sweeper, then up over the Supercross triple. And I believe we're going to see these guys go off of this and triple into the rollers, then step over this single to triple single into this corner. Johnson looks like he's going up the inside and then double single over, or table over single, I should say. Then this section you're going to want to triple in, downside, and then quad over the backside of that to then triple on, or quad over, I guess I should say there for Johnson, double into the corner, into the whoop section. First time, look at how big these whoops are tonight. And obviously the road system going to allow those to break down a lot heavier in the main events, but right now track is still very fresh for these guys and will be at each gate drop, but as the races get longer, the harder the track will be. So over the Supercross triple, then a little triple quad line there for Johnson to go through this little 3-roller set in the S-turn around the start line. So he goes back across the start straight right here into this chicane before the whoop section. Another whoop section on this track down to the far end of the quad oval, if you guys are familiar with the NASCAR circuit. A wall jump into 5 sand rollers, and finally you'll get back to where the first turn area was to complete 1 full lap of racing action here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's go on board here with Johnson to see what it looks like as well, just to get a clearer picture of what this track is going to look like here tonight. So triple through these corners, swing around. I'm actually just going to be quiet and let you guys listen to Johnson here for a moment. So Johnson almost made it a full clean lap there with us on board with him. He had stretched out his gap to 9 seconds before he slid out before the whoops there. It's going to go down slightly down to 7.2, but obviously the championship leader flying here tonight at Atlanta, looking very, very smooth on that number 8 Panini Motorsports Yamaha. And it looks like his teammate Trevor Burns is still behind him in second. Let's work our way through the field a little bit and see where things are at, though. Brandon Nygren coming here in third alongside Ethan Gurst as they go through the sand rollers. Gurst going to try to pull alongside, but Nygren stretches it back out as these guys kind of launch that first double in. Nice battle going on for third. We got Seth Harnischfeger on the JNP, number 933. He is up in the 5 spot right now, trying to make the main event. Looking good so far. Braden Tharp on the EVP 415. He is up into 6 right now. Brett Thomas on the Underground RC, number 221 by the looks of it, is in 7th. Trent Adams, who is going for that hole shot in the first turn on the Team Nami number 44, is in 8th right now. And Alex Kerr on the 84 Jack Daniels Racing Yamaha outfit runs in that final transfer spot. He's got some pressure from behind them. Neil Fitzpatrick closing up on the 71 Proline Designs machine. Almost triples into the back of Kerr. Now he's going to have a drive up to the finish line jump. So we'll see how this one plays out, as everybody's already kind of funneled open, and I can pretty much imagine already that the racing is going to be quite spread out tonight, as you can see how big Johnson was able to get a lead in just 2 laps, and we're on lap 4 right now, almost 5 minutes into this race. I told you, these lap times very long. These races are going to feel kind of oddly drawn out, even though they are timed races, obviously, just based on these long lap times on the track. So Fitzpatrick trying to keep Kerr close, but Kerr instead looks like he has gotten a little bit of a gap established. Going to go roll double and then triple quad through here. So different option I haven't seen most people do, but it looks like the different options for these 250 guys becoming a bit of plenty. And by the way, a rider went down. That was Trent Adams that went down in the whoops, so he's going to lose that transfer spot, but he's right there on Fitzpatrick trying to keep it close. All these guys land into those inside ruts, just trying to carry speed. Interesting to see how guys will set up their bikes here tonight. Obviously, the rough of the track, maybe you want to go a little bit more towards an outdoor setup, as you can see these guys struggling in the whoops right now. The 221, I should say, almost going down. That's Brett Thomas. So he's going to fall outside of transfer spot. But look at this. We got 4 riders basically all together through the sand rollers. That is 6, 7, 8, and 9 on the racetrack right now. It's Fitzpatrick tailing off the back of him, and Kerr's going to slide out. He's in a very rough spot right there. Let's see if he can get it turned around. Not before he loses a transfer spot, though, as Lois Gorin goes into a transfer spot, and then that was a bad track reentry for Alex Kerr, getting on sideways at the end of the section there and then getting landed on. Now he's going to get punted off the track and go down. So making matters worse for himself as Robert Wilson gave him a little nudge there. Ethan Olson also went by, but it was Lois Gorin on the 751 motorsport.com effort that made his way into a transfer spot. Now he's going to move up into 8th around Adams and almost go over the bars in the S section. Up and over the Supercross triple they go. It's still Gorin just ahead of Adams, and here comes Brett Thomas trying to close back in. Again, the long racetrack. This might be up there for the longest Supercross track I've ever seen raced in this game. I know Checkers built a couple pretty long Supercrosses, but I don't know if we ever got into the 140s. I mean, that's straight up national track level lap times. Look at this move up the inside. Thomas on the inside of Gorin. Going to try to move himself up into 8th, and he does so. White flag is out front. All these guys electing to triple single. We saw Johnson earlier on going triple quad, but I think these 250Fs, it's a little bit of a huck. And Gorin goes back around the outside of Thomas to move back into 8th, but Thomas on the hot seat right here. And all these guys trying to get a run through the whoops. That is a very tricky set of whoops tonight. With almost no run coming into it out of the S-turns and so much roughness. Oh, as Brett Thomas lands on the back of Neil Fitzpatrick, Trent Adams hits him and almost goes down. Robert Wilson's going to make 3 passes right there. Actually, I think he made 4 passes, so he just went up into, I think that's 8th spot now. Crazy stuff here. Oh, Johnson just went down with the race lead, but he has got a healthy gap on Gerst, who just went down himself. So Gerst is going to cough up the 2 spot. Looks like as Nygren shoots down the inside to go through into second. So race leaders have definitely opened up a gap from everybody else. And Payson Johnson already looking like he is thinking about win number 4 on the season and starting to get up into a bit of a realm where clinching the championship around early could be possible. And around early means leaving this Atlanta triple header, he would be the champion. But that would be basically 2 weeks away from right now as he goes down to the whoops, but he still has such a huge lead. Doesn't really matter. He's going to pick himself back up, and he was 22 seconds out in front. That's going to go down to somewhere around 12, 11-ish seconds, but no harm, no foul, because he's still going to bring this thing down. Couple more corners to go. And yeah, these heat races, they're going to take longer just because of that lap time. And I think Johnson maybe got an extra lap in right before time had expired. So this is almost a 10-minute heat race, which is absolutely insane. It's like half the distance of a main event. But here comes Johnson down to the flag to win 250 West heat number 1. Nygren battling with Gerst. Gerst trying to come up the inside. Let's see how it's going to play out in this last corner for second. Gerst trying to go inside, a block pass, and he puts Nygren on the ground. So Gerst, taking no prisoners out here, will finish up in the 2 spot in this one. It's going to be Nygren bringing it down in 3rd. Here is Tharp in 4th, Harnischfeger, Gorin, and Fitzpatrick 7th. Burns moves up into 8th. Wilson just getting up from a crash is 9th, and here comes Brett Thomas. Thomas is going to try to close it down with a few turns to go here. Never know what could happen, especially some of these riders up here battling for these final couple more spots to get a better gate pick for the main event. Things could get a little bit riley here as Lois Gorin gets tipped from behind by Neil Fitzpatrick. Everybody does seem to make it through cleanly, though, and that's going to be Fitzpatrick coming across in 7th, and it should be Wilson, barring a disaster, outlasting Brett Thomas for 9th as he makes it through by 1.4 seconds into the main event. Trent Adams, he'll be headed to the LCQ with Thomas. It's Adrian Wilson, Ethan Olson, Caden Speck, Alex Kerr, Dylan Smith, Dylan Love, Joe Wagner, Kyle Carpenter, and that seems to be it heading to that last chance qualifier. Kind of can't believe that TRT though, man. 10 minutes to complete a heat race. We might be here a little bit longer tonight. But yeah, shout out. I see a couple of people. Of course, Vincent Murphy, who runs the Eat Our Meat graphics. I love that. But yeah, R Jerky coming on board here at Start Your Systems for really as long as they want to be, I guess. But obviously here for the latter part of the season for Race Factor Gaming Supercross. And head over to eatrjerky.com to get some high-quality beef jerky. I mean, honestly, just some great flavors. Many different options for you guys to choose from, and use the code SYS20, that is SYS20, for 20% off your order, as Payson Johnson takes the win here in 250 West heat number 1 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Got a question in chat from Garrett Kroos. He says, Kellen, could you explain the process of what you need to be able to race these races? Absolutely. So if you have MX Simulator, if you purchase MX Simulator, obviously that's the first step, spending $42, mxsimulator.com. That's where you want to get it from, is mxsimulator.com. But spend the $42 there. JLV hooks you up with a copy of the game, and before you know it, you're off to the races with the game. But beyond that, just get, work on your speed, work on your skill sets, head over to racefactorgaming.com, create an account, and then you'll see there's many series you can race. There's an EU series, there's an NA series. I think there was an AU series for a while. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, which is Australia, obviously. And they have all different types of classes. They have Novice Supercross for complete beginners. It's free to enter the series. If you've never raced before, you have no idea how to do anything, Novice Supercross is where you start. Then there's obviously Amateur Supercross. I think there's an open amateur series as well, so it's more like between pro and the amateur series. You race that open class, and then obviously you get your licenses moved up as you get better in the game and competing in Race Factor Gaming events to eventually race in this pro series. You need an A license at least to race 250s and a pro license to race the 450 class in this game. But you'll find all that information at racefactorgaming.com, and they'll get you dialed in here to race in this series. All right, 250 West Heat number 2 is coming up right now, and this one is brought to you by OGL Paco on Twitch. Streams in his free time and a proud sponsor of RaceFactoryGaming.com. He says, feel free to stop by and hang out anytime. That is twitch.tv/OGL Paco, and he is going to present you 250 West Heat number 2. So a bunch of guys in this one looking to click off a race win. They're out on their parade lap. You got Bryce Whelan, Seth Crotty, Zoa Cross, Jeff Giffen, Tyron Tomich, John Heilman, Nathan Guy, Jack Fowler, Kyler Hockey, Blake O'Brien, Jaden Wilson, Brian Kelly, Devin Davis, Dylan Cavacuti, Cooper Hunt, Max Spokes, Lane Wofford. It looks like we got 19 guys lined up here tonight in 250 West Heat number 2. Yes, I do ride in real life, although my real job, working at RacerXOnline.com, I don't get a whole lot of free time to go out and just ride quite often, just because we're always working on the weekends and a lot of the week, obviously. But when I do, I own a CR250 two-stroke from 2002, kind of worked on that, added an FMF pipe, and made a couple other adjustments to it. But I also am loaning a bike from Chris Kiefer right now, which is a 2020 Husqvarna FC250. So I ride either one of those right now, but my dad also owns a modded KX250 two-stroke that he bored out to a 300, so I'll ride that from time to time. Sometimes we go dual sport riding, and then my dad has a Husky 501, and my brother has a Husky 350, and they go dual sporting, so just kind of ride a lot of different things. Yep, SoCal, born and raised. Not sure what we're waiting on here. I didn't think this was the race. I thought that... Is this the race, or am I missing something? Okay, no, it was not the race. Yeah, there we go. That was a very long break because we're just sitting here. All right, 250 West Heat number 2 on the gate, and saw a request last time as we saw Payson Johnson out front kind of ripping his way through nothing. He was just all by himself, and we were doing some first-person cam. I am going to try to find someone about mid-pack off the start, and we'll go on board with them and kind of see how things go. But let's get through this first corner and see what happens. It's 250 West Heat number 2 right now. Whoa, a lot of people hit the gate, and out of the inside comes one of the Team Nami efforts, but Bryce Whelan's also trying to get up the inside. It looks like Whelan's going to get to the corner first, and he does. Bryce Whelan whole shot. He's side by side, though, with Kyler Hockey. Hockey on the 79 trying to go around the outside. It'll lead to the inside into this corner, and he should have himself the race lead. He does. Whelan's going to triple back up the inside for the race lead himself. And a nice move so far, but Hockey trying to fight back over the finish line jump. Dualies, but Hockey's going to short the double. And Whelan going to try to stretch it out front. So let's see. Let's go find somebody kind of mid-pack-ish. Let's go with Jack Fowler. I like where he's at right now. He's got a couple people in front of him. He's going to go down right here. So let's go up to Zoa Cross. Jack Fowler crashing just as we went to him, but Zoa Cross here, he's in 6th spot early on. And get an idea, he's got someone right behind him and a couple guys right in front of him. So over that Supercross triple here on the first lap, these guys electing to go double, double, triple, double through this section after that Supercross triple. Outside, so you can triple onto the table and step off for this corner. Then you'll want to swing out here and triple, so you can quad off this tabletop, I should say. Oh, and Cross gets into the side of the 167 and goes down. That was Blake O'Brien getting messed up a little bit right there. So let's see what's going on behind these guys. We'll go on board with Lane Wofford for a second as he's trying to work his way through some tough blocks. He's got some more riders coming up the inside. Some frantic battling going on here in the mid-pack early on as Wofford's going to go down in the whoop section. So up to Dylan Cavacuti in 10th right now. Trying to go around the outside of the 73 of Heilman. A little dualies action over the triple right there. Oh, and down goes Cavacuti on the back of Heilman. So Cooper Hunt's going to go by. And Hunt has 3 seconds to make up on the group in front of him. Let's go back here with Brian Kelly for just a minute to finish off this lap. He's down in 13th, but he's got a couple guys right in front of him. Oh, riders down in that corner, so Kelly trying to sneak through, but he's going to get... Whoa, the 94 of Cavacuti coming flying out of the sky. Look at this battle here as Nathan Guy almost gets collected there, and Cavacuti's going to go from 13th all the way up to 9th just like that by jumping into the sand. Oh, almost contact there into the back of Jack Fowler. And now Guy up the inside is going to go into 9th as there's just more chaos, but he is so far back. He's 8 seconds down in 9th. So the front 8 have definitely separated themselves out quite a bit here at the end of one lap. A little bit of onboard action with you guys. But I did notice in chat there was a question, how is the Atlanta Motor Speedway track longer or going to be longer than the Daytona tracks? Frankly put, the quad oval that is at Atlanta Motor Speedway is larger than the tri-oval at Daytona, which seems weird because Daytona's a, what is it, a 2.3 or 2.5 mile super speedway, where Atlanta is more or less just your standard. I think it's a 1.65 mile regular speedway. And of course, that makes it so that the track is smaller, but if you actually look at an overhead of Daytona versus Atlanta, the grass part that is the quad oval at Atlanta is much larger and takes up much more of the actual racetrack than Daytona's tri-oval, which is very small and kind of like tucked into the little, nook of the D, if you will, at Daytona. So there's a lot more floor space at Atlanta to work with. There used to be a Supercross that was run back at Charlotte back in the late 90s, and that was also a very long racetrack. It was similar to Daytona, but a little bit longer, a little bit more Supercrossy, and that's kind of what we're going to expect to see at Atlanta this weekend. But also, there is predicted rain in the forecast for the Supercross this Saturday. So there's supposed to be rain and thunderstorms all throughout the day tomorrow, Friday, and most of Saturday as well. So that doesn't necessarily guarantee we're going to have a mutter, but at least we're going to be on rain watch, so that might change the whole dynamic of the racetrack as well. But that is why the track is bigger at Atlanta, just more actual floor space compared to Daytona. So Bryce Whelan continues to lead here 4.5 minutes in. He's looking smooth and in control out front. Jaden Wilson runs in second on the Covenant number 65 machine. Devin Davis sitting here in third place early on, looking smooth and in control as well. Seth Crotty runs in fourth. And John Heilman right behind him in fifth, with Zoe Cross behind him in sixth. Blake O'Brien, big whipper tail over the triple here in seventh. Kyler Hockey now in eighth. And Nathan Guy landed behind them is still in ninth. Cooper Hunt back here trying to close that gap down and make things interesting. It's like Guy goes down. He triples in and immediately falls off the bike. So that's going to allow that 38 machine of Cooper Hunt to go by into the final transfer spot. And now Nathan Guy going to lose another spot as Lane Wofford goes by. You can see these whoops, though, are just huge tonight, and these guys really struggling through them. Oh, cross off the track on the inside, so here comes Wofford. He's going to go into that final transfer spot. And time just expired. I think I see Whelan hitting the finish line jump in the background. Oh, no, that must have been someone else, so I thought time expired. Oh, someone getting sideways in the background. That was Nathan Guy going down again. Second time in the same lap. And things are getting shuffled all around here. As Zoacross trying to put the power down and close up here on Wofford. 79 machine of Hockey just in front of that. So Cross outside looking in, trying to close that gap down onto the 181. Oh, Cross down after the finish line jump. Landed sideways and immediately got sketchy, hitting the deck. So Hockey now going back to work on Wofford. Wofford had just passed him before the finish line jump, it looks like. Wofford looking like he is trying to open up that gap a little bit there on Hockey. Meanwhile, a little three-rider battle going on here. Blake O'Brien working on Cooper Hunt and Seth Crotty. O'Brien on the 167 now going to split them as he goes around Hunt. Crotty getting a little sideways in the whoops. A great drive for O'Brien. Oh, big whipper tail for O'Brien down the left side of the track and a rider down. Doesn't appear to be in the midst of the battling right now, though. And a couple of mistakes have really cost Seth Crotty here. He loses 2 spots for the price of 1 on 1 straightaway. As meanwhile, out front, white flag is waving. So all these guys fighting just for a better position currently. As down goes Cooper Hunt. That might allow Frank Jackson to get by. And Jackson's bringing Lane Wofford with him. Hunt gets going just as Jackson gets there into the whoops. You can see the 79 of Hockey is back there as well. Is up the inside. Wofford trying to get up there on Cooper Hunt. Can't quite do it. All these guys are in transfer spot, but obviously it is close between all of them, and at any point, one of these riders could crash and find themselves outside of transfer spot. That top 9 position is crucial here as the 241 machine going backwards on the track right now. That's going to be a little bit sketchy. So back out front, Bryce Whelan still looking smooth and in control. Unheaded at the front of the field. It's Jaden Wilson still in second, Devin Davis in third, John Heilman right here in fourth, Seth Crotty fifth. Blake O'Brien just went down in sixth, so that's going to allow Frank Jackson by for that 6th spot on the Team NAMI effort. Cooper Hunt now moves into 7th. Blake O'Brien drops to 8th, and Wofford finds himself in 9th. Went off the track there for a moment. Here is Hockey and Nathan Guy coming up right behind him, though. All 3 of these guys trying to fight for that final transfer spot with a lapped rider mixed in, as well as Nathan Guy gets into the back of Hockey and goes down. Oh, and now Hockey goes down as well, so a dodged bullet there for Lane Wofford. Meanwhile, last turn coming up. Bryce Whelan dominates 250 West, heat number 2 to match Payson Johnson as he takes the win right now. At Atlanta Motor Speedway, it's Jaden Wilson in second. John Heilman just got around Devin Davis for third. Let's take a look at how they handle the whoop section, though. Heilman kind of having to hop through them a little bit. Davis trying to get a drive to the outside. Let's see if Davis goes for the launch into the sand. Yes, he does. Does he land it? He does, and he's going to make the pass, at least for a moment. Heilman fighting back on the inside. Davis trying to close that gap down with a couple turns to go here. This is your battle for third. Just a better gate pick at this point, but Davis would still like it. He's going to try to triple up the inside for the pass, but he backs out of the challenge, and Heilman, his teammate, is going to finish up third in this one. Seth Crotty back here in 5th. Cooper Hunt is in 6th. Frank Jackson right behind him in 7th. Lane Wofford has slid up into 8th, and a takeout. That was Tyron Tomich putting Blake O'Brien on the ground as Tomich is fighting his way into transfer here. Nathan Guy is the next rider that could get to Tomich, so it looks like the rider out of Australia is going to be okay, barring a crash. Couple turns left to go. Tomich tripling across the tough blocks there, but he'll bring it down and go to the main event. The last-ditch effort there, nicely done for Tomich. Nathan Guy will end up in the 10 spot. Jack Fowler looks like he'll come across in 11th. Kyler Hockey, after a couple late crashes here, really costing him. Going to lose a spot to Blake O'Brien, actually. O'Brien crosses 12th. Hockey 13th. It's Brian Kelly looking like he'll end up 14th in this one. Max Spokes down in the 15th spot. Zoa Cross out of this one in 16th, and then Cavacuti, Atkinson, and Giffen also back here going to those last chance qualifiers. Lap time check out front, though, almost 2 seconds off was Bryce Whelan from Johnson. Johnson in the 45s, Whelan down here in the 47s, but that was the best lap of the race. Whelan, fastest time of 47.2, a fastest time of a 48 flat for Jaden Wilson, and Tomich's 49.5 down in 9th was the only other rider to be under the 150 mark. Everybody else kind of 151 or above, really. A lot of people in the 152s, 153 ranges. Cuts come in. We'll take a look and see if they change. Devin Davis does get around Heilman, his teammate, for 3rd, and everything else stays the same behind that as Tomich goes through to the main event. But it was Whelan taking the win here in 250 West, heat number 2. Boy, oh boy, these are some long races. We're already like a half hour down here, and we've only done 2 heat races, which normally we kind of click through the heat races pretty quick. So we may be here about 2.5 hours tonight if things continue on the way that they've been, but we'll just have to see. All right, coming up next, it's going to be 450 heat number 1. Big old 450 guys are going to see what they can do on this racetrack. So probably some bigger lines in the S section if I have to imagine. But tonight's 450 heat number 1 is going to be brought to you by MXS Lobby. MXS Lobby provides and sells quality MX Simulator servers with a custom dashboard and many requested features. MXS Lobby constantly evolves to what users want. Get one today and start racing with others. MXSLobby.com is your place to go. And as always, we are in an MXS Lobby server tonight racing. And they've always provided fantastic servers for not just Race Factory Gaming, but the general public. So if you guys are trying to host your own race series or just have your own lobby to do some stuff with your buddies, MXS Lobby, definitely a good place to go to do that. And they'll get you guys set up and on a payment plan to have your server and give you all the tools and tricks and stuff that you need to run the server efficiently. All right, 450 heat number 2, getting lined up here on the gate. Let's take a look at who we got here in this second, or sorry, it's 450 heat number 1, I should say. All right, we got Alexis Leclerc, Matthias Janis, Logan Higney, Dennis Fjellberg, Jeremy Smith, Jacob Hubbard, Jeremy Siebold, Reed Young, Caleb Hall, Austin Bear, Aaron Rockefeller, Dylan Copeland, Russell Cruz, Jack Haley, Daniel Irvine, Jeremy Cohenauer, Tyler Lang in this one. Talk about heavy hitters. Lang, Haley, and Leclerc, all title hopefuls in this one, and your defending champion, Siebold. So this is straight up looking like a main event out here. Let's go on board with Siebold on the start. Siebold has had his problems so far this year, getting through to the main event every single time, and that has likely cost him a chance at repeating as champion this year. So we'll see what he can do here off the start tonight. Look at this, quadding into the rollers, landed it, then triple. Is he going to 5 into the corner? Oh, just a little bit short. He's obviously just messing around here on the warm-up lap. But we'll do a little bit of a first-person start with Siebold so you guys can see what it looks like from his perspective. And, of course, knowing how this works, I'll pick him because he hasn't been getting good starts in his heat race all year long. So I want to see kind of what it looks like from that perspective. And he'll most likely get a good start in his heat race right now. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look here. We'll find Jeremy Seabolt. There he is. And we're ready to go. 450 heat number 1 on the gate and ready to go. Let's drop the gate at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Seabolt with a pretty good start, but he's going to run wide and got into the back of Cohenauer, I think it was, into the first corner. So he's going to get up outside of the top 10 out of the first turn. And this will be kind of interesting to see what this looks like. Trying to take a peek out front and see if I can see going the other way. It looks like it might be either Copeland or one of those other riders coming out of the first turn with the lead, with Seabolt already tripling his way up into 6th. So got around a couple down riders. I did see Haley down, and I think I saw another Cowie rider going down, but I'm trying to look forward ahead. I think I see Leclerc battling it out for the lead right now on the 7, and Seabolt's going to go over Hubbard to get up into 4th now. He jumps over another rider to get into 4th outside, so there is Copeland. Copeland did not go down. It's another rider that we saw hitting the deck there. Looks like it might be that Cohenauer and Leclerc out front. Look at that line from Seabolt. Triple, absolutely flying right now is Jeremy Seabolt to go from outside of the top 10 out of the first turn to up to 3rd temporarily. He's going to go inside, step on, step off after doubling. So he's going to triple. He's going to go almost over the bars right there. A little hard landing and jumping up to his inside right there. Is that the 805 of Russell Cruza? First time we've seen Cruza back at a race here in a long time. But Seabolt trying to make a couple passes here early on, has now gone backwards from his 3rd place position to find himself in 5th. See what he does here. I think he's going to triple and try to get the power down to quad. No, going to back out of the challenge. Someone else trying to quad over him. I think that was Jack Haley trying to do that right there. So Haley down again. 2nd time the number 2 machine has hit the deck, and he took Russell Cruza with him. So Seabolt's going to move up into 4th right now. And into the whoop section. Look at Seabolt get right on top of those whoops and carry so much speed through them. Rider down. That looks like Cohenauer on the outside. And then Seabolt out of the inside, landing to flat in the sand, trying to close up on Copeland. But it's Leclerc leading the race from Copeland and Seabolt after 1 lap on board with your defending champion. Behind him, it's Tyler Lang on the 14 and Hubbard on the 11. They are in the 4 and 5 positions, respectively. Jeremy Smith right there on the 4, running in 6th early on as Lang shorts the triple a little bit. And here comes Hubbard trying to get a drive up to the finish line jump. They go over the finish line jump. Little dualies, not big dualies, kind of scrub dualies, as Hubbard trying to make a move here on Lang. See these 450 guys. It's like Hubbard made a small mistake, but then goes for that quad around the corner, then double to the outside of Lang. Look at Smith trying to get a line on his teammate Hubbard to the outside. Can't quite get it done. Hubbard goes defensive. See these guys. Are all these guys doing that line? Yeah, look at that. Triple over and then triple into the corner. That's so fast. And then, oh, Copeland gets put to the deck by Hubbard going by. And now Hubbard gets hit from behind as Smith gets into him. So there goes the 130 of Janice. Cohenauer on the 20 gets hung up on the outside of them. And there's Copeland getting back up from his crash to now find himself right in the midst of that battle as they're kind of checking each other through the rhythm sections. And Hubbard will come out still ahead of Cohenauer after a little bit of contact there. A couple riders able to take advantage of it, as we saw. So here is your race leader, the fast Frenchman himself, Alexis Leclerc, 4th in the championship standings, 29 points down of championship leader Braden Carter, who we'll see in 450 Heat 2. But Leclerc definitely has the speed to turn things around here in these last 5 rounds, and if he can at least put himself in a position to win at each of the last 5 rounds, depending on what happens to Carter, Leclerc could definitely still find himself right in the midst of this title hunt down to the very end, as the same could be said about Lang and Haley, who are both ahead of Leclerc in the championship standings. But still, 24-point lead right now for Carter, and everybody else has to do the chasing. So Leclerc going to try to put the outright speed down. I want to see what he's doing after the finish line jump here. Leclerc always has some interesting lines. So he's going over and then triple, quad, double. That looks awfully fast and smooth, and Leclerc always so quick at doing it as Seabolt goes down in the background. Looks like he was trying to attempt something similar, got it all wrong. So there goes Lang on by, and Seabolt still going to get up going here in the 3 spot. The Seabolt made some good progress early on and has now afforded himself a crash there. Leclerc carrying so much speed here. He goes over table just like we saw Johnson earlier. And then the only other line that might be different here is after the Supercross triple, these guys I think can quad triple instead of triple quad like we saw Johnson do in his heat race, but I want to see what Leclerc happens to do here. He's going to land off this triple, get some power down, and yeah, quad and triple into the corner, so you can just get a little bit better run through this corner and not have to worry too much about landing hard on the brakes after quadding out right there, and Leclerc making it look quite easy. Here is Lang still in second ahead of Seabolt, who has picked himself back up in third. He's quadding into that section as well. Matthias Janis finds himself in fourth, going for the triple single line. It's Jacob Hubbard inside of the top 5 ahead of Kohenauer in 6th. Daniel Irvine in 7th. Dennis Fjellberg running in the 8th spot right now. And Dylan Copeland right ahead of Jack Haley in 9th. So Haley, second in the championship, coming in 24 points down, really needs to go straight to the main event out of this heat race. He's going to get a spot. Daniel Irvine went down. He's trying to go to the outside of Copeland, coming back across the start straight, and he will do so with a nice move up into the 8th spot now for Jack Haley. Going to go to work here on Jeremy Kohenauer around the outside of the whoops with a great drive, and Kohenauer actually goes down. Did he take Copeland with him? No, Copeland able to stay up. So Haley now up into 7th, and he'll put his eyes on the number 3 machine of Dennis Fjellberg just ahead of him, try to close that gap down on the rider out of Oslo, Norway. Copeland drifts back to 8th, and it's now Jeremy Smith into 9th. So Smith, he's had an up and down year. He's made most of the main events that he's been at the races here for, but obviously still trying to compete for the SGB Maxxis Babbitt's Kawasaki team in real life and try to make some main events there as he goes down now out of 9th, and Irvine just jumping over him is going to go back into the transfer spot. Also going by is Austin Bear on the 944 MXS Magazine KTM. So he'll move up into 10th, and Kohenauer also got around Smith, but then went almost down right there. So Smith going to get back by for 11th as everybody's still kind of jockeying for positions. See a couple other riders further back. Peek back out front. There's Leclerc. Battle for second brewing on. It's Lang and Seabolt. Seabolt going for the quad triple. Lang going for the triple quad, and Lang goes down, casing the quad out. And that's the risky run when you got to do that triple in and can't get the quad in right away. Definitely a potential to case that quad out and go down like we saw Lang just do right there. Wow, Jack Haley's already worked his way up all the way to 4th. So Haley definitely on the move. Running some quick lap times, I would imagine, with it. 47.7, but I want to see what he does this time by, because he's been absolutely flying this lap right here. So into the whoops, gets on top. Nice drive. These whoops are tricky. You're almost kind of like trying to treat them as if they're rollers, if you will. Double through the sand and carrying momentum. You want to triple off of this to downside this roller, and kind of triple the rollers again a little bit to double around this corner. Triple into this real tricky tight 180, then triple back out of it into the finish line jump. So Haley right here is going to lay down a 44.3, and Seabolt had done a 43.2 and a 43.7 out of Leclerc, but Seabolt just went down, so Lang moves back into second, 24 seconds off of Leclerc. Seabolt gets going, plenty of time before Haley gets there. White flag is out right now here in 450 heat number 1. Janis 5th, Copeland back in 6th, Fjellberg right behind him in 7th, Hubbard is 8th, and Jeremy Smith has now found his way back into the 9 spot. So Kohenauer trying to make one last run here in a battle of the Jeremys for the final transfer spot. Kohenauer just going to use the kind of smooth and steady approach. Looks like Smith and Hubbard have kind of found each other. So this will be interesting. Copeland just ahead of them as well. Copeland makes a little mistake, so Hubbard's going to take full advantage to go around him. Copeland trying to fight back as Smith's just licking his chops. Meanwhile, Leclerc out front going to come through and take the heat race victory as he crosses the line first. Hubbard getting around Copeland, Smith going to try to follow suit. Copeland a little short right there. Hubbard through the front door. No, he saved it, but then his teammate Smith hit him, and Smith is the one that goes down. Unfortunate right there for the number 4 machine, but the benefactor there, of course, will be the 20 of Jeremy Cohenauer, who is just sitting there waiting for something to happen ahead of him, and it finally did. Smith made a small contact onto his teammate Hubbard, and it kicked him sideways, and down he went. But it's not over yet. This whoop section very tricky, and Hubbard's going to get sideways and almost go down. Cohenauer trying to avoid him, goes to the outside. Hubbard swings back up the inside, and Smith goes down to the background. I think that's Caleb Hall jumping into the sand behind these guys. Going to be the last guy to really have a shot. But barring disaster, looks like Cohenauer's got this thing. The couple turns to go. Triple to the outside. Hubbard going to check in 8th ahead of Cohenauer. And Cohenauer goes to the main event in 9th. So Caleb Hall, Jeremy Smith, Austin Bear, Reed Young, Daniel Irvine, Aaron Rockefeller, Logan Heagney, Russell Cruz headed to the last chance qualifier. Looks like Rockefeller going to be the last guy we're waiting on, as Cruiser was a lap down. Daniel Irvine, he's going to check in to the 14 spot. And Rockefeller going to finish up here in 15th to give us some cuts. Let's take a look. And absolutely nothing changes inside of our top 9. So Leclerc takes the heat race victory. And boy, does he look good here tonight. 43.7, but Siebel, 43.2. A 42.1 was ran on lap 6, though. Jack Haley upped the ante even more. And you think the 2019 champ doesn't want to win here tonight in Atlanta Motor Speedway? Well, he's certainly proven that the speed is there, at least in race trim. We'll see if he can get a good start, though, which he did not get in this heat race. 2 early crashes put him on the back foot, but he did charge forward to finish 2nd. But it was ultimately 30 seconds down of Leclerc. Something makes me think, though, that the race tonight isn't going to be so much about just raw speed, but more about survival and running consistent lap times out front. So we'll keep an eye on that. But 450 heat number 2 coming up next. And 450 Heat 2 tonight is going to be brought to you by Racetech Suspension. Racetech is an industry leader in suspension components and service. Racetech has been a huge supporter of RF from the beginning, providing a ton of prizing for Race Factory's competitors. Racetech is your place to go for all your suspension needs. Thank you, Racetech, for your continued support of RaceFactoryGaming.com. And they bring you 450 Heat number 2, which will have your championship leader, Braden Carter, ready to go in this one. Yeah, Brady keeps bringing up in chat whatever happened to the live timing thing tower that I used to use on the left side of the screen. Honestly, I had just too many bugs with it, and the guy that ran it, he's a really nice guy. I didn't create it, so I don't know how to work it properly or anything, I guess, like that. But it seemed like there was a few glitches that kept happening with it. Like it happened like 3 or 4 weeks in a row where it'd glitch out and say the guy that was like in second to last or last was actually leading, and he was like a minute and a half ahead of everybody, and then it would glitch out everything behind that, and suddenly you have guys in all the wrong positions. And it was just kind of a pain in the butt and didn't really keep live tracking as well as I really wanted it to, so that's why I stopped using it. Obviously, visually, it looked very nice, but if it's going to glitch out like that a bunch of times, there's just no use in always having it up on screen. So still have the live timing thing across the top of the screen, which JLV implements in the game, and I think that does a fine enough job if you're trying to look for your specific favorite rider through the running order. But yeah, that's why I don't use the other thing. So I was told, nope, looks like Braden Carter is running his skins. So Carter, who says right now he's in Hawaii on his laptop, and so might be struggling a little bit more tonight. I'm not sure if that's entirely going to be the case or not, but he was going to try to not run his skins for himself, but still allow me to see his skins, which is a little kind of finagling that you can do with the JM files so that I see something that he doesn't see, I guess. But in the end, it looks like, well, maybe he doesn't see himself and sees only the default skin so that it doesn't wear his computer down too much, but I can clearly see what he's using. But there's your championship leader. We'll see how he fares in heat number 2. A lot of big names here tonight, ready to do some battle. Casey Cochran, Logan Leitzel, Seth Garrett, Luke Sullivan, Devin Ryan, Benjamin Saves, Casey Ohlert, Seth Shirley, Bobby DeSalle, Luke Magnetti, Braden Castellaneta, Chase Donovan, Braden Carter, Chase Blakely, Brock Pearson, Riley Hewen on the gate, ready to go. It's 450 heat number 2. Top 9 go to the main event. We're going to find out who they are right now, live on Start Your Systems. Again, a lot of guys hitting the gates, so something going on. These guys getting fooled by it, and Carter gets bumped around and shoved wide into the first corner. Donovan almost gets the hole shot, but it's going to be Casey Cochran getting the early lead. Chase Blakely up the inside, going to move into second. So Cochran, Blakely, and looks like the 18 of Luke Sullivan right there in the 3 spot. More riders getting caught up in the background, though. I think that might have been Castellaneta going down in 4th that caused a bit of a pileup. So Cochran leads, Blakely 2nd, Sullivan right there in 3rd. Big line being used by Cochran, but Blakely with the triple option, at least keeping it close. He went off the track a little bit right there. Up over the triple, Cochran's going to land sideways and go off the track. And that's going to allow Blakely to take over the race lead. Cochran remounts, still in 2nd because Sullivan goes cartwheeling. And the 13 of Leitzel getting a little sideways right there as well. Team Namiaha. I like it. Trying to get around the 90 of Cochran, but just not quite getting a nose in there just yet. Cochran definitely under attack right now from Leitzel. It's a close battle for 2nd. To find our way back soon to see where exactly our championship leader Carter has gone back to. Get a look at these whoops here on the first lap and see how Cochran and Leitzel are faring through him as Blakely opens up a little bit of a lead out front. Leitzel goes down. So Cochran now going to have plenty of time to work with in 2nd, and we're going to wait to see as Magnetti comes through the whoops. Leitzel gets up still ahead of him in 3rd. Magnetti 4th, Castellaneta 5th, Seth Garrett in 6th, Seth Shirley is in 7th, and Carter is in 8th, but he is having some problems here trying to get around Shirley. Almost hit him coming into the corner and almost hit him on the wall jump. So Carter is in transfer spot right now, but as this track has shown us tonight a little bit, it has a tendency to reach up and bite you when you least suspect it, as he almost gets alongside Seth Shirley. Jumping up to the finish line jump right there. So let's see, he goes outside. Wow, double quad. And where's he going from here? This isn't going to end good. How does he stay on 2 wheels, ladies and gentlemen? And then Shirley hits him, so he really didn't even lose a spot because the only rider that went by him was Ohlert. But he had just passed Shirley, so he's still in 8th. Riders down up here. Looks like Castellaneta was off the side of the track, so that'll move Carter up into 7th. And almost into the back of Ohlert off the side of the track. That's Sullivan trying to go by for 7th, so Sullivan gets that spot. Castellaneta and Shirley in the background. Devin Ryan, by the looks of it, also back there. Riley Hewen, Benjamin Saves. Carter going to jump up the inside to get back into 7th. Meanwhile, change to the lead out front. Something happened to Chase Blakely. And the Moto Playground number 90 of Casey Cochran goes to the race lead. He's having his problems through the set of whoops here, though, as well. A lot of guys struggling, not with just that set, but both sets of whoops tonight. As track definitely going to break down a little bit more during those main events. But those whoops have been treacherous all day long, regardless of how much rough or ruts they have in them. So Cochran leading from Blakely. Magnetti, Blakely's teammate, runs in that 3 spot. Seth Garrett, he's up into 4th, and now Carter has found his way inside of the top 5. Almost contact as Ohlert comes up the inside right there. So Ohlert in 6th has got Luke Sullivan right behind him in the 7th spot. Braden Castaneda is in 8th, and Seth Shirley is in 9th, and it looks like a bit of a gap has opened up behind these guys for the time being. Up over the Supercross triple. And Shirley looking like he is having a good time at the moment. Looking at that 6-second gap back to Benjamin Saves and is quite happy about that situation. But he's got a whole bunch of riders right ahead of him here. Luke Sullivan's going to pass Casey Ohlert. So a couple passes being made. Carter's still trying to work his way forward. Battle for second. Magnetti has caught up to his teammate Blakely. Into the whoops they go. Magnetti with a little better drive, but both drives were quite honestly a bit rough, which has been the theme here tonight. See how Magnetti plays with his teammate here. As Cochran's still 4 seconds ahead, they might just kind of latch onto each other and more or less freight train their way up to Cochran if they can. Magnetti so close there to making a move on Blakely with the quad over, but doesn't quite get it in there just yet, as Carter has now moved up into the 4th spot. That gap is slightly coming down to Cochran out front. It's under 4 seconds now for Blakely. Maybe Magnetti pushing him has helped, and actually Cochran just went down. Casey Cochran hitting the deck after the rhythm section there, going to allow Blakely and Magnetti through. And now Magnetti has a problem. He's off the side of the track. Got to re-enter safely here. Nicely done in the end for the 30. There's Cochran. Then Carter has closed this gap down. So Carter still in it with a shot at actually winning this heat race to try to match championship counterpart Alexis Leclerc. It's only about 5 seconds off the lead right now, I think. 5.8. Let's go on board with Carter here for a minute and take a look. This guy's up ahead of him. Triple quad for Carter, silky smooth right there, closing up on Cochran. Let's see if it comes down to the whoops here for this pass, perhaps if he can size it up. Yeah, look at that, nice drive. Carter seems to have the whoops a bit more dialed. Coming out of this corner, doubles off the wall. Then he tried to double through the sand here. A 43.5, remember a 42.1. Is what Haley was able to put down. Leclerc also in the 43s like Carter, but a 43.7. So Carter looks like he's got the 3rd fastest race lap time so far, but let's see what he puts down here, because this seems like it was a pretty decent lap as he's closing up on our leaders. A 43.1 goes even better. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the speed he's carrying. Oh, does he go for the quad? Oh, he cased it. He went for the double quad. Where do you go from there? Double quad triple around the corner? I mean, I don't know. He was absolutely flying right there. And because of how fast he was going through that section, he's still only 9 seconds off the lead, even after a crash. White flag is out, though, and Blakely trying to hold off Magnetti. So Blakely leading a BPC 1-2, but now Blakely goes down. So Blakely, and he takes Magnetti with him. Magnetti hung up in the corner. Here comes Cochran for the race lead again, at least trying to get it back. Didn't quite get it there. So now it's a Cochran-Magnetti battle and perhaps a Blakely 3-rider battle for the win here in 450 Heat 1, or Heat 2, I should say. Nobody going for the quad line. So this is going to come down to the whoops, which Cochran hasn't looked all that great in. but that doesn't mean he can't have himself a good run, and Magnetti has a problem. Let's see, Magnetti gets on top pretty well right there. He's bouncing a little bit towards the end. Cochran did have a better drive, it looked like, but not quite enough. And Blakely, I think, went down. Cochran almost went down. So Magnetti here with a couple corners to go, looking like he is about to get his first heat race victory of the season. Survives a little bit of the chaos there on the last lap of the race, and indeed he does. Luke Magnetti brings it down and takes the win here in 450 heat number 2. Nice air wheelie all the way through. Casey Cochran, he'll end up in second. Carter gets all the way to third with his 43-1. Blakely just beats Sullivan to the line. Doolies. Oh, I thought Sullivan was going to land it, but he landed on Blakely. Ollard crosses the line in 6th. It's Castellaneta 7th. Seth Garrett in 8th. And Devin Ryan going to survive here in 9th, as closing up in the end, but not getting there, was Seth Shirley. Logan Leitzel, Brock Pearson, Bobby DeSalle, Riley Hewen, Benjamin Saves, and Chase Donovan will also not be headed to the main event. DeSalle throws a little whipper tail off the finish line jump. We're waiting on Hewen and Saves and Donovan here. Donovan getting a little sideways, come back to start straight, and then now he's going to front flip through the whoops as he goes trampolining his way through. So we're waiting on that 64 machine to cross the finish line. Same for Saves. Hewen has come across. We'll see if those cuts affected anything. Shirley 2.1 seconds down on Devin Ryan. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Magnetti over here, though. Nice heat race victory for the BPC number 30. And just about time for Donovan to cross the line here any second. And we'll take a look at those cuts. One turn to go. Waiting for Sally Slow-mo. There it is. All right, so Magnetti from Cochran. Carter loses a spot to Sullivan. 2 spots. Sullivan leapfrogs both Blakely and Carter to 3rd. Ollert 6th. 7th was Castellaneta. 8th, Garrett. And Ryan does indeed finish up this one in 9th. So the transfer spots stay the same. But Carter does lose a valuable gate selection there. He'll be, at best, the 7th gate pick for the main event now. So we'll see how that plays out, with obviously Leclerc having a good gate pick. Jack Haley moved his way up. He's going to have a little better gate pick than Carter. Tyler Lang, he had a good heat race as well. So all these guys should be starting fairly close to each other on the gate. Now what that means going into the first corner, not a clue, because this start has been quite treacherous tonight. Very sharp 180 left-hand first turn. Guys trying to get onto the brakes. So we'll see how it goes. 250 last chance qualifier coming up right now. And the 250 LCQ tonight is going to be brought to you by R Jerky. R Jerky on board with us here on Start Your System, specifically on board with the stream. So Robbie Wageman, RJ Wageman, the Wageman brothers as they're known, putting together the R Jerky team. And it's eatrjerky.com. That's eatrjerky.com. And if you use the code SYS20, that is SYS20, you get 20% off your order of their assortment of beef jerky. They got a bunch of different flavors. Very excited to share with you guys all the different flavors that they have. And you guys can go ahead and get yourself a little discount. Get yourself some nice snacking meal for the stream. And use that code to save a little bit of money. And they bring you 250 last chance qualifier action tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Wanted to quickly answer a question that's going back in chat. RJ Ellie, I'm not sure if that's how I'm saying your name right, says, have you ever thought of streaming on Twitch, Kellen? Yeah, absolutely. We streamed on Twitch, I think, from day one was the first thing that we did for Start Your Systems. Our Twitch account is twitch.tv/StartYourSystemsTV. I still stream on Twitch occasionally over there. But quite honestly, the YouTube audience is significantly higher. I think we have like 4,000 followers over there on Twitch, but obviously we have 85,000 followers here on YouTube, so it makes more sense to just stream straight to YouTube because you get more of the audience. I mean, we got 400 of you guys here tonight, and I love to see it as always. But Twitch, I'm more or less just used to just do like fun little streams and just kind of stream on my own time now. It used to be our official spot where we hosted the live streams for everything that happened in MX Simulator or any other race series that we did. I used to do like DMR racing and Supercross the game and stuff like that, but we've all migrated that over to YouTube to just more or less get more audience to actually be there for the racing. So here we go. 250 last chance qualifier, 5 minutes plus a lap. Only 4 riders going through to the main event. All other runners going to be headed back to the semi and will be gravely disappointed. So we're going to see how it all shakes down. It's like we got ourselves about 16, 17 riders lined up on the gate going for 4 spots here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's time for the 250 LCQ, and it starts right now. Again with more riders hitting the gate, but out of the middle, big start for the 75 of Caden Speck. He'll get to the corner and control it, and wouldn't you know it, it seems like the 250 LCQ start was maybe the cleanest until that first jump, and then half the field went down. But it's Speck leading the way from Kerr. Max Spokes is up here early on that 338, I believe it is, and Robert Wilson right behind him. Brian Kelly jumping up into 5th, but then gets Joe Wagner into the back of him. So he goes down. Kyle Carpenter was hung up as well, right there with Jack Fowler. So the front 4 have themselves a nice little gap established already. Oh, rider down. That is Caden Speck. So your early leader is down off the side of the track. That's going to allow a couple riders to go by. Notably so, Brian Kelly is going to go into the final transfer spot. Jack Fowler's right up there on the inside trying to get back by. Side by side into this section. Fowler trying to show him a nose, but Kelly so far holds on. Fowler going to tuck in behind him. Still got Caden Speck right there. Another rider just went down up ahead. That looks like it was Max Spokes, but Spokes is going to get up still in a transfer spot as looping out goes Jack Fowler. Here comes Caden Speck alongside Brian Kelly, and Speck goes back into a transfer spot. Kelly, a couple of mistakes right there at the end of the rhythm section really cost him, and Speck took full advantage of it. Max Spokes, Robert Wilson, Alex Kerr now leading the race here on the 84s. So your front 4, pretty good positioning right now, but it can change in the blink of an eye, and this whoop section here at the far end could do it. It's just such a tough set of whoops to get a good drive for. Kerr does a pretty nice job entering, but he's got to slow way down here at the end, kind of double his way through. Wilson with a nice drive through it. Spokes, he's getting a little sideways. I saw Speck get a kick there as well, but everybody out front so far has made it through cleanly, and our front 4 has now opened up a sizable gap on the rest of the field. You can definitely see that our front 4 riders have themselves a gap established. So 1 full lap now in the books. 5 minute plus 1 lap last chance qualifier. So this one's going to go probably 5 laps. Kerr looks like he's playing it safe out front. Robert Wilson just trying to tail in right behind him. Maybe set up a late pass for the race lead when it's not as crucial to stay on 2 wheels. Double-double, triple-double through this section for Wilson. And he'll swing wide so he can triple onto this table, step off. Then the ideal option here is to triple in, but all these guys are having to check up and double a mistake, and Kerr just went down, and he's off the bike as well, so Wilson goes by. There goes Spokes. Here comes Speck, and Kerr just gets going, but now he's down into 4th, and that kind of tightens up the front 4 a little bit more even. Speck going to go to work here on Max Spokes. Max Spokes trying to hop through the whoops. Speck to the outside, now trying to cut back inside. Spokes controls the inside all the way through. As mentioned, this front four is still almost nose to tail. It's more of a good battle for second right now, and first and fourth are kind of a second off on either side as Spokes lays it down. That's going to allow Kerr to go by as well as Speck. Into the whoops here. Wilson through clean. Speck also got through clean. Kerr hopping, and Spokes gets into the back of him and goes down. So this might be the opportunity for everybody else coming up behind to make a pass. Here comes Kyler Hockey. He is going to go into that final transfer spot. We also have 3 other riders coming through the whoops right now. It's Nathan Guy, the 258 of Brian Kelly, and Trent Adams on the 44 also right there, and Adrian Wilson on that 759 Slick Productions machine. So any one of these guys could be the beneficiary of some chaos up here. Here comes Max Spokes trying to get back around Kyler Hockey for fourth. Look at this move up the inside. Spokes, nicely done, and Hockey just lets him have it. He knew he was coming. So Spokes, putting the power back down after the finish line jump, has fought his way back into a transfer spot and now looks to hold it. Triple Hockey just trying to keep it close. And Spokes is really on the hot seat here because the front 3 have now established a nice little gap there. It's Wilson, Speck, and Kerr all about 5 seconds apart. Then it's 13 seconds down to Max Spokes here in that final transfer spot. And Spokes going to land off the side of the track. Getting back on as here comes Hockey. And another mistake. Spokes making a lot of mistakes. Hockey trying to go over top of him. Backflips and then crashes. It looked like he hit his rear tire. And then Nathan Guy with nowhere to go lands on Hockey. Anybody else coming in? Oh my gosh, 759 almost got in there. And then Hockey, an instant fall off, stepping off the table. Absolutely brutal right there. But that was a huge plus there for Max Spokes, as he now has a 7-8 second advantage, it looks like, on Trent Adams. So Adams going to hope for another mistake perhaps out of Spokes. It could come in this whoop section right here. It's where he crashed a lap ago. Again, kind of getting the hops through it. But he survives. White flag coming out this time by. Here is race leader Robert Wilson about to check in. White flag waving. Wilson out front. Speck in the 2 spot. Alex Kerr has dropped back a little ways. He's about 9 seconds off of these guys, but he's still safe right now in 3rd. And Spokes a 5-second advantage on Trent Adams as the white flag comes out for him. So it's going to come down to crunch time. Max Spokes pretty much has to just try to stay on 2 wheels and put a decently solid lap together, and he should be into the main event. But it's always easier said than done, especially with that pressure mounting Trent Adams putting it on from behind. Ooh, I think Kerr just cased a triple and went down. So that might open up another opportunity as, yeah, he's just getting going here, but Spokes has to roll the triple in. Not ideal whatsoever, but if Kerr has another mistake, not only could Adams get into the mix here, but Adrian Wilson trying to say something about it before the end. There is Kerr. Through the rhythm lane they go. Spokes just trying to put anything solid through this rhythm lane together. Taking his time. But man, oh man, did Trent Adams close down quite a bit. Spokes pretty good through the whoops there. A little kick at the end. Still got Kerr right in front of them off the Supercross triple, but Spokes has to heighten the intensity because here comes Trent Adams. Spokes fairly clean through there. A little mistake. I think it's going to come down to this whoop section like it has most of tonight. Adams lurking back there, hoping for another mistake. Here comes Spokes into the whoops. Pretty good drive, but he's hopping. He's a little sideways, and Adams has a great drive up the inside. He's going to get right there onto the wall jump. Adams tries to lay low on the wall jump and get a better drive through the sand, but he doesn't quite get the double-double, so he loses more time. Speck takes the win out front. Wilson crosses the line second. Spokes is trying to close up on Kerr here. He doesn't need that spot, and Adams goes over the bars in the background anyway. It sounds like Adams maybe stayed on 2 wheels, but it doesn't matter in the end as Kerr goes through in 3rd and Spokes to the main event in 4th. Kyle Carpenter is going to miss the main event tonight. That's going to be a tough one for him to swallow. Trent Adams will drop back to 6th in the end after that late push. Adrian Wilson, Dylan Love, Nathan Guy, Brian Kelly, Kyler Hockey, Joe Wagner, Dylan Cavacuti, Zoa Cross, Jack Fowler, Blake O'Brien, Jeff Giffen, all missing out as well. Joe Wagner looks like he'll be the last one to come through. Here's Kyler Hockey. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that. He was on the verge of a transfer spot, then a couple of crashes really cost him. Joe Wagner DNFs this one. So after cuts, let's take a look. And everything inside of the top 4 stays the same. Speck, Wilson, Kerr, Spokes for the main event tonight in Atlanta. All right, 450 last chance qualifier is coming up next. And this 450 LCQ is brought to you by Underground RC, the leader in radio-controlled fun, on-site indoor off-road track, and carpet track with a large in-store RC selection. Visit undergroundrc.com. They'll bring you this last chance qualifier, but of course, also want to give a shout out to the game we're playing tonight, MX Simulator. Without MX Simulator, and more specifically Josh Vanderhoof, the sole creator, none of this would be possible. MX Simulator captures that motocross feeling like no other game you've ever picked up, and Race Factory owes everything to JLV. Thanks, Josh, as always, for your continued support of Race Factory Gaming Supercross and all the endeavors that have happened in this game over the now, 13, 14 years this game has been out. It's insane. We're still racing at a high level in this game with all these guys. And we'll see how long it goes. A lot of people back when I even raced back in like 2012, 2013 theorized, the game will be dead in next year or two back then. And look, here we are 7, 8 years after that, and here we are still playing. So cool to see the community sticking together and still putting some fun racing on. And we got some heavy hitters in this 450 LCQ brought to you by Underground RC. Brock Pearson, Jeremy Smith, Daniel Irvine, Bobby DeSalle, Logan Leitzel, Russell Cruza, Austin Bear, Chase Donovan, Reed Young, Seth Shirley, Riley Hewen, Aaron Rockefeller, Benjamin Saves, Caleb Hall, Logan Higney. There are going to be some guys in here that will be unhappy to not make the main event for sure. So only 4 riders will go through in this one as they're currently wrapping up their parade lap. 5 minutes plus 1 lap for that last chance qualifier. 4 riders going to the main event. Everybody else headed back to wherever they are. Jeremy Smith, a big name in this one, former 250 national champion way back in 2013. That got him that number 4 that he's had ever since. He's trying to go through the main event here tonight in Atlanta as the LCQ is underway. Good jump for, I think that's Caleb Hall trying to get up the inside and control, but a push wide from everybody else is going to allow Brock Pearson with the hole shot. It was Hall right up there on the inside trying to allow the field to push wide, but he'll still come out second. To sell right there in the 3 spot, and Lights on the 13 comes through in 4th in the early runnings here. Pearson, Hall, DeSalle, and Leitzel over the finish line jump. Different options being used all the way through as DeSalle tries to quad over and then double around the corner for the race lead. Going to be alongside Brock Pearson. Cut back underneath. A nice move, and Bobby DeSalle third to first just like that. Pearson now having to deal with Caleb Hall on his left side. They're going bar to bar. They're practically rubbing number plates through the rhythm section, but Hall going to take advantage with the triple option to make the pass and get around him up into second. DeSalle leads Hall in second, Pearson third, and Jeremy Smith now up into fourth. So we lost Logan Leitzel somewhere there at the end of the rhythm section, and a big gap back to Reed Young back here. Young, and there is Leitzel going down on the 13. Daniel Irvine also going down, and Reed Young. Everybody back here outside the top 4 going down. So Donovan going to be the beneficiary here. He is going to go up into 5th, but he's still got a huge gap to overcome already to Jeremy Smith up the road here. So DeSalle working his way through the whoops on the first lap. Looks a little out of shape there, but a nice job to corral it back together. There's Hall and Pearson and Smith. So we'll see if these guys back here can have anything to say about it. Donovan coming through with Austin Bear in the background. The 66 of Riley Hewen. He's getting sideways. He's going down. More riders going down. Irvine's coming into view. There goes Aaron Rockefeller. The 441 of Seth Shirley also snuck by on the inside. And somebody else just went down. That's Donovan that just OJ'd into the sand and went down. So Austin Bear now 11 seconds off of transfer in 5th after just one full lap of racing here. And this 450 LCQ has opened up in a hurry. But if that 250 LCQ is any indication, doesn't matter how big your lead is on that final transfer spot, it can close up in a hurry. We saw that happen there with the 84 of Alex Kerr, who was leading the 250 LCQ at one point, then slipped back right onto almost the bubble spot there on the last lap of the race. So if you're Austin Bear here, you just have to try to put in some laps and hope some chaos ensues up here, which it definitely could. Looks like Pearson just got back around Caleb Hall. Jeremy Smith right back here as well, trying to work perhaps on making a pass. Triple and single through the rhythm lane here for all three of these guys. So you have to wonder a little bit if all these guys are more or less aware of this situation, know they have a big gap back to 5th right now, as there goes DeSalle. He was off the track, so Pearson's going to retake the lead. Caleb Hall going to close up onto the back of DeSalle. Smith, a little mistake in the whoops, loses touch. So let's see if DeSalle might put the hammer down and try to close back up on Pearson. About 4 minutes down, so this should be basically the 2-lap board here. They're not going to get back around in under a minute unless some hellacious lap is put down by Brock Pearson right now. So 2 to go in this LCQ. Pearson, DeSalle, Hall, and Smith, your transfer spots right now. Oh, DeSalle. Little scrub that got kicked sideways, but a nice job to push it back into a normal realm. He is pushing a little bit here. It seems like he wants to have a piece at race leader Brock Pearson. Very smooth through that section. I haven't seen anybody downside that triple out as cleanly as DeSalle has. Usually guys are OJing there. Did Pearson go down? Yes, he did. So DeSalle leads from Smith now. Hall back to 3rd, and Pearson drops all the way back to 4th. So Pearson must have went off the track. We missed it on screen. But things coming unglued a little bit here. A nice job to save it for the 194. Bouncing through the whoops a little bit. And further back, Bear and Shirley battling for 5th right now. They're going to need a little bit more help than what happened to Pearson if they want to do some damage tonight, and Shirley goes down after the whoops. So Austin Bear, one of the few guys that still has a chance here. Aaron Rockefeller hoping something dramatic happens as well. Your race leaders have certainly made it look a little bit easier than it should be out front so far, and have a gap established at this point that would allow them probably to crash and still get up in a transfer spot. So nothing of particularly crazy interest, although there goes DeSalle again crashing, so Jeremy Smith has taken the race lead here as he checks on to the final lap of this last chance qualifier. One more lap to go. Smith leads. Hall now moves into second. Pearson up into third. And DeSalle now back into fourth. So a 12-second gap back to Bear. And I don't know. You never know with these guys. Big crash could happen. DeSalle trying to quad over these guys. That is ballsy by him. He kind of cut the track right there. Trying to get through these guys. 3 abreast almost into the corner now. Coming out of the corner, we got dualies, trileys over the triple. And DeSalle now trying to close up to the outside there of Caleb Hall. Pearson tripling to the outside as well. Might have a pass on Hall as well as DeSalle gets back up into second. Pearson now into third and Hall back to fourth. DeSalle just out of nowhere turned on the afterburners there. Through the whoops. Oh, DeSalle down again. Austin Bear. He's going to have a slight whiff of something changing, but nothing else beyond that. I think he went down again because DeSalle's gap is still gigantic. Back to Austin Bear. So nothing doing really in the end right there. DeSalle just needs to corral it together and not go down again. Jeremy Smith has made it through the whoops clean, though. And looks like he is on his way to this last chance qualifier win. Pearson, Hall, and we'll take a look at DeSalle through these whoops one last time to make sure he is all clean. And indeed he is. So that should solidify our 4 transfer spots right there. Final turn. And Jeremy Smith is going to the main event tonight in Atlanta with a race victory in this last chance qualifier. Nice backflip over the finish line jump as well. Brock Pearson ends this one up in the 2 spot. It's Hall in third. And DeSalle nose high into the final turn, but he will survive a couple of late race mistakes there to go to the main event in fourth. Austin Bear going to be the first man out. Daniel Irvine also going to miss out. Aaron Rockefeller, Seth Shirley, Riley Hewen, Logan Heagney, Chase Donovan, Logan Leitzel, Reed Young, Russell Cruz, Benjamin Saves all out of this one tonight. Oh, Donovan does a 360 fakey nose tap to, I don't know what you call basically landing sideways. I guess, what do they call that? It's not a Casper slide. Or is that a Casper slide where you slide on the wheels sideways, and a dark slide is on the grip tape of the board? Trying to get my skateboard lingo down here. I think, no, a Casper slide is on, man. Just blowing it right now. I thought I had my skateboard terms dialed. Can't even do it right. All right, Jeremy Smith, Pearson, Hall, and DeSalle confirmed going through. Yeah, I thought about calling a primo slide, but I felt like it was too cliche to say primo sliding on the side of the bike when, I mean, sliding on the side of the board would be, you know, riding like a paper thin edge, which you can do a primo slide, but you're going more forwards than you are sideways. What is a Casper slide? I know that's a thing, but why am I not knowing what it is right now? Dark slide is on the grip tape, board upside down. A primo is board sideways, so you're standing on the wheels on the side. I don't know. All right, 450 LCQ is done, which means, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main events here tonight. And this one should get good. Round 6 of the 250 West Division Championship. And tonight's 250 main event is going to be brought to you by Phil Ski and Snowboard. Phil Ski and Snowboard is your one-stop shop for all things ski and snowboard. They have over 35 years of industry experience, along with a youthful and knowledgeable staff, giving you the best experience you can find in Orange County. Whether it's tune-ups and repairs, seasonal leases, retail, or just giving information on the latest and greatest equipment, they're here to make sure you get the most out of your winter. Phil Ski and Snowboard brings you round 6 of 250 West action here in MX Simulator. Got it. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. So Casper slide, you basically more or less do an impossible and land with 1 foot on the back side of the board by the trucks and 1 foot on the front side of the board on the grip tape, I think. Or no, I'm sorry. Doing this wrong again, aren't I? No, that's right. And then you try to ride the tail of the board down a ramp, essentially. All right. 250 West main event coming up. Who is on the gate here tonight? Well, let's talk about it right now. Payson Johnson, your championship leader, is here tonight. Tyron Tomic, Trevor Burns, Max Spokes, Jaden Wilson, Braden Tharp, Frank Jackson, Alex Kerr, Lois Gorin, Devin Davis, Seth Harnischfeger, Caden Speck, Cooper Hunt, Ethan Gerst, Robert Wilson, John Heilman, Neil Fitzpatrick, Lane Wofford, Brett Thomas, Brandon Nygren, Seth Crotty, and Bryce Whelan on the gate here tonight for 250 West main event action from Atlanta Motor Speedway. So let's see who can get themselves a race victory tonight. Tanner Rogers has 2 wins on the season. Payson Johnson has 3. Can anybody else finally step up and get it done? It's going to be tough. Payson Johnson has looked awfully good here tonight, but a lot of names in this hat could get pulled out as tonight's race winner, and we're going to find out who it's going to be. Tyron Tomic just squeaked in out of the heat race with that 9th place spot. Devin Davis, he got a good finish in his heat race. Should be going to the gate about 6th or so. So we're getting loaded in. Who is taking a long time? 75 of Caden Speck. Let's hope he doesn't time out. He's got 32 seconds left. There we go. He's in. All right, round 6 of the 250 West Championship inside of Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first time. Let's drop the gate in Atlanta. It's an absolute drag race into the first corner, but up the inside comes, actually it's out of the outside, Lois Gorin, motorsport.com motorsport.com rider gets the whole shot. So it's Gorin, Wilson, Tharp. Tharp just got passed by Speck, so Speck, nice early pass. Tharp triples over him to the outside. Speck cuts back underneath. They're going to be side by side, but Lois Gorin leads the main event here in Atlanta on the 761. Or the 751, I should say. Jaden Wilson right behind him in second, looking for his first main event win of the year. This is setting up nicely for a lot of these guys. Trying to take a peek. I do not see the red plates on that Yamaha of your championship leader. Payson Johnson looks like he is a bit buried down the field right now, as is Bryce Whelan. A couple guys likely expected to contend for the win here tonight. Down the field a little bit early on. Gorin leads. Gonna cough it up right here, though, as there goes Jaden Wilson to the front. And this could be the biggest opportunity he's had all season long to try to run away with a race victory. Looking through the field, I think I see Johnson right now just inside of the top 10. Yeah, he's 9th actually on the track. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Let's go find him. Here he is, up the inside of Davis for 8th. Now up to 7th actually. Trying to make some early passes. Almost off the track there, has to triple single. Gonna get around the 415 right there. I think that's Braden Tharp. Carrying speed through here to get into the whoops well. Rider down at the end of the whoops, just picking himself up. That looks like it is... I thought it might be Spec, but it looks like it's a rider on a KTM. Jaden Wilson. Oh, it was Wilson down. So to the front now goes Caden Speck. It's Speck from Heilman. Tomic up the inside of Heilman, puts Heilman down. Cooper Hunt, Wilson, and now Johnson tripling to the inside of Wilson. Was going to move around him into fifth, I think that is. No, fourth. Speck, Tomic, Hunt, Johnson early on. Little case there for Johnson, but not too much damage. Meanwhile, Tomic trying to close the gap down to Speck out front for the race lead. Tomic so nearly had a race victory earlier on this year that was snatched away from underneath of him in the late stages. Could he get one here tonight in Atlanta? Oh, little mistake, and Speck goes down, so Tomic to the lead, and Johnson already up into the 2 spot. Pace and Johnson absolutely weaving through the field, setting very fast lap times early on here. Gonna try to go to the lead on Tomic. Looking for his 4th win of the season. Tomic looking for the 1st win of his career. Oh, Johnson, a little mistake right there. Got kicked sideways. Wilson's still back there for what it's worth, trying to capitalize on any mistakes. These two have out front, Tomic and Johnson, laying down a strong pace, though, early on. Interesting to see Johnson charge into the wall, then elect to not jump into the sand. He's trying to kind of scrub, wheelie his way through the sand. Look at that, landing in a wheelie so he can kind of wheelie over the backside of that single. Tomic is definitely going to be feeling this early pressure. 4 minutes in, so plenty of time left in this main event for Johnson to make something happen. But as we've seen how Johnson has rode his way to the front at this point, I don't think he's going to want to waste much time getting into the race lead. Ooh, a little short on the quad. Tomic got it clean in front of him, though, and these two have opened up a big gap. It's Caden Speck back there in 3rd, but these two out front laying down a blistering pace, and Tomic, so far at least, matching Johnson. This might be a difference maker right here, though. Johnson got the option a little cleaner, but then a big mistake at the end cost him some time. So Tomic opens up a bit more of a gap. Johnson, another little mistake there in the background. Is he going to case? No, good clean landing on the downside there. So, oh, and Tomic down. Tyron Tomic has crashed out of the lead, and there it goes. Payson Johnson is out front, and he's still got 10 minutes of this race left. But if last week was any indication, as soon as he finally got into the race lead, it was goodbye time. So we'll see if that happens here tonight. Caden Speck is going to get around Tomic. And move up into 2nd. Devin Davis now finds himself in 3rd. Jaden Wilson right there in 4th. And Tomic has drifted all the way from the lead back to 5th. He's right there behind Wilson. Good little freight trainer riders coming through right here. I think that's Lois Gorin still back there. Oh, Johnson down. He was down in the whoops, and that's going to allow Speck back to the lead, and then Speck immediately crashes in the next turn and gives it back to Johnson. But at the very least, Johnson has some pressure coming and now has some mistakes to go with it. Johnson, Davis, Wilson, Tomic, Speck right now is your top 5. Johnson trying to streak away at the front. Davis working very hard to hold off Jaden Wilson on that Covenant number 65. There's Tomic on the 41 on the Honda behind these guys, closing it down. Different option for Tomic, the faster option if he gets it. And he lands on Wilson and knocks him off the track after Davis had just made a mistake. So Speck is going to get all of them to go back into 2nd. And Tomic kicking himself a little bit there. So take a look here at Johnson out front, creeping up into the halfway stages of this main event. And right now working on, looks like A little over 5-second lead now established as here comes Speck behind in second. Davis in third, still dealing with Wilson. And then Speck goes down, so Davis is going to move into that second spot again. Wilson right there still in third, and Cooper Hunt has quietly worked his way up into fourth here on the atom.com number 38. Speck off the track a little bit there in the background. It's going to cost him some time. I think Tyron Tomich was thinking about a move there, but Speck gets back on, still ahead. Davis still under attack here from Wilson. And it looks like this time Payson Johnson got through these whoops clean. Wilson trying to get a drive through the sand. Just can't quite get close enough to think about an opportunity yet on Devin Davis, as they have now dropped to almost 10 seconds off of Johnson out front, who is continuing to extend his lead with every passing timing gate. Davis still in second. Wilson right behind him in third, and Cooper Hunt lurking back there, hoping these two might get together. Davis a little short on that triple out. Wilson got it cleaner. And Wilson very clean through the sweeper, closes right up. Davis a little short on the triple, just a nudge, and that's going to allow Wilson to triple up the inside, but Davis going to try to fight back on the outside. No contest in the end. Jaden Wilson moving up into second, and a mistake for Davis might cost him third. Now Cooper Hunt made a mistake as well. Oh, and now Wilson goes down out of second, so Davis gets right back by, and Cooper Hunt now moves himself up into the 3 spot. There goes Speck down. Speck just went down again. And here comes Brandon Nygren. He's going to move up into the 4 spot there on Wilson up the inside. Wilson trying to cut back up underneath, though. And Tomich right there, hoping these two collect each other perhaps so he can make a pass. This is close, though. Over the triple, kind of dualies, kind of trialies. Not any huge kickouts there besides Wilson. I'm sorry, Nygren and the second rider in line there got a little sideways. Look at Tomich around the outside of Nygren into the sweeper. Man, that was daring, and it didn't pay off. He went a little too deep and goes down. Nygren's going to have an awful drive all the way through the whoops, and Davis was down at the end of the whoops. Nygren still trying to charge through, and from 21st all the way up into 6th now comes Bryce Whelan on the 25, and he's going to try to make a pass here on Nygren. Whelan at the end of the first lap down in 21st has charged his way forward. Heat race winner earlier tonight, but it's just not quite found the same success yet in the main event. Trying to turn things around, though, with 5 minutes left to go. And pulls up alongside Nygren. Little dually scrubs. Look at Nygren trying to fight back on the option line, but Whelan quad double through here. Closes that down. Davis now next target in line for Whelan. So resetting things, it's Payson Johnson out front on the Panini Motorsports number 8, your championship leader, looking for his 4th win of the season, and is going to extend his championship lead to over a race distance as Cooper Hunt cases, doesn't go down just yet in second, but lost a lot of time right there. And here comes Jaden Wilson, going to try to take advantage of it. Wilson for second, got him. Hunt allows him to have the opportunity up the inside so he can charge back in the whoops, but doesn't quite get him back just yet. So it's Wilson moving back into second. Cooper Hunt now into third. Devin Davis in the 4th spot. Bryce Whelan rounds out your top 5 now. Tomich back in 6th. Robert Wilson, he is in 7th right now. Good charge forward for him. Same for Trevor Burns in 8th. Brandon Nygren has drifted back into 9th, and Frank Jackson rounds out the top 10. Little mistake right there for Robert Wilson. So Nygren going to go around the outside of him. Causes it to close up a little bit here into the whoops. Kind of hopping their way through there, and that's I think Lois Gorin off the back of these guys in 11th. Double-double through the sand for Frank Jackson. He's got a great drive here, trying to close up on Robert Wilson. This is for 9th. All these points, very valuable to these guys. Different, more or less different agendas for everybody. Sometimes these guys are just hoping for the best race results. Sometimes guys are trying to fight for a specific amount of points each round and maybe have a fight for inside of the top 5 in the championship by the end of it. Obviously, you're always trying to do well, but there's realistic goals and realistic expectations set throughout the field. And when Payson Johnson has been laying it down the last 4 rounds now, basically, kind of measure yourself down and try to think of a good spot to finish, give it your best. So all these spots are definitely very valuable as Whelan dealing with Trevor Burns and Cooper Hunt just getting up from a crash ahead of him. And that's Jaden Wilson, I think, down off the side of the track, trying to latch onto him. Yeah, it was. Wilson getting going in the whoops right now. Now behind Whelan and Cooper Hunt with Devin Davis just ahead of them. Tomic now moves back into second, but boy, oh boy, is he a long ways down. I'm actually going to do something here to try to highlight how big Payson Johnson's lead is here at 35 seconds to give you guys an indication. And I don't think he's even hit lap traffic yet, which is crazy. So here he comes right here, and we're going to just look backwards. Okay, so he has hit some lap traffic. There goes Johnson, and coming into our view is a couple lapped riders right now. I think that's Harnischfeger right there, and that's Max Spokes there on the 338 doubling in. But look at this gap all the way back. And coming over the finish line jump right now is second place, Tyron Tomic. And I can already see Johnson going the other way by the finish line jump over there. So here comes Tomic as he's hopping through. Big quad around the corner. So Tomic on the 41. There he is in the 2 spot. Devin Davis right there in 3rd on the 29. Just ahead of Bryce Whelan on the 25 in 4th. Cooper Hunt 5th. Jaden Wilson 6th. Trevor Burns right there on the 50 is in 7th. Robert Wilson on the 62 in 8th. Lois Gorin up into 9th. And Caden Speck rounds out the top 10. Brandon Nygren on the 150. He's back in 11th. This is Alex Kerr on the 84 in 12th, battling it out with Frank Jackson in 13th. 181 of Wofford in 14th. I didn't quite see the number right there for 15th. And then Fitzpatrick 16th. 17th for Tharp. 18th for Gerst. 19th for Heilman. And it looks like the last rider still on the lead lap is hopping his way through right now. 221 right there coming in. And white flag waving right now. So Payson Johnson coming onto your screen. Hopping his way through the rhythm section. Just got the white flag. And I mean just got it. It is just past the 15-minute mark right now as Johnson comes into view. Big lead out front, though, for Johnson. There's Tomic second. This battle for third has just been the battle that continues going on. Devin Davis and Jaden Wilson have been attached at the hip all race long, and they did have Bryce Whelan in this mix, but it looks like Whelan must have made a mistake, and Cooper Hunt still sitting back here lurking. But Davis trying to hold off for a podium. Wilson going to push him to the very end for this one, though. Through the S-turning rhythm section. Both these guys going for that triple-double, triple-triple option. Davis has slightly extended it. Not by much, but a very slim margin of extension on the gap. It's going to come down to these last few sections, really. Wilson's going to get a preferred option here, I think. Triple single. He's closed up on Davis quite a bit. Davis a little short on the double, but then Wilson made a mistake as well. Hunt is still lurking back there, hoping to take advantage as Tomic still runs here in second. And here is Johnson out front in complete cruise control very likely on his way to an easy championship victory at this point. He'll be a race distance ahead after this one. His 4th win of the season. He's done it again here in Atlanta. Payson Johnson wins the inaugural Atlanta Motor Speedway Supercross in the 250 class. Tomic will likely end up 2nd, and Wilson just got around Davis in the S-turns. Back to the switchbacks. It's going to come down to a drive in the whoops. Wilson got a pretty good one. He's hopping a little bit at the end. Davis is going to try to close it down. This is for the final step on the podium. Davis launches into the sand, and he's going to go down. So through will go Cooper Hunt and Trevor Burns, as Tomic ends up in 2nd. And final step on the podium will go to Jaden Wilson, but this battle for 4th is not over just yet. Cooper Hunt trying to survive as Burns attacks. And to the flag, Hunt just gets Burns for 4th by 5/10. Davis goes from 3rd to 6th on the last lap. He'll be disappointed with that. Lois Gordon got the whole shot, went outside the top 10 most of the race, charges his way back to 7th. Nice ride for him. Bryce Whelan outside of the top 20 on lap 1, ends up 8th in this one. Robert Wilson will finish up in the 9 spot, and Lane Wofford rounds out your top 10. Caden Speck ends up in 11th. Ethan Gerst through the front door in 12th, going to lose a spot. Oh my God, that was absolute murder by Alex Kerr on Neil Fitzpatrick, and Gerst able to get up and still hold on to 12th because of that. Seth Crotty going to get 13th. Tharp will get 14th, and Kerr, with the absolute takeout of a lifetime, gets 15th there. 16th for Jackson. 17th was Fitzpatrick. Heilman in 18th. Nygren 19th. And Brett Thomas will be 20th, as the only 2 riders 1 lap down in this main event were Harnisch-Veger and Max Spokes. And to give you an indication how long the lap times were here tonight, 10 lap main event was just ran. I think that might be the least amount of laps ran for a main event ever in Race Factory Gaming competition. But Johnson takes the win. Look through the field and see. Looks like Wilson leapfrogged Whelan for 8th on cuts, and Tharp leapfrogged Crotty for 13th on cuts. And Fitzpatrick gets a bunch of spots back after the Kerr demolish. Goes from 17th to 15th there. Heilman drops to 19th behind Nygren, who moves to 18th. And that was all the changes there. So Johnson, 4th win of the season, and he is going to have a massive points lead after Tanner Rogers did not show up here tonight. 2nd in the championship, wasn't even in the main event. So most likely someone like Tyron Tomic is going to move up into that 2 spot in the championship, and he is a long way down. All righty, ladies and gentlefish. It's time for the 450 main event. Round 13. It's what y'all came here to see. Titanic battle. Carter looking to continue a upward trend in his points lead. But Jack Haley, Alexis Leclerc, and Tyler Lang are all looking to dismantle it. Let's see who comes out on top. Tonight's 450 main event in Atlanta is brought to you by MotoOption Clothing, founded in 2005. Out of pure love for motorsports and design, MotoOption has continued to reinvent what a clothing company is all about. They pride themselves on staying true and giving back to the sports that support them. They support local tracks and organizations, as well as maintain a large athlete sponsorship program. MotoOption gives back to the sports that fuel us. Run by racers, for racers, they are motorsports. And for the 11th year running, they are the title sponsor here of Race Factory Gaming Supercross. So happy to have them on board every year. And they bring you round 13 of MotoOption Supercross tonight. So what do we think in chat? Seeing a lot of people hyping up Leclerc, Haley. Not a lot of Brayton Carter love just yet. Tyler Lang, he still has not got a race victory this year. Jeremy Seabold is here tonight. He's looking to get his 2nd win of the season. Not going to defend his title, obviously, but he is still definitely a player. Chase Blakely, he picked up his first career win a few weeks back, if you remember. He could be a player here tonight as well. And the always sneaky guys like Dennis Fjellberg, Jeremy Smith could be a factor here tonight. There is Lang. Magnetti, he won a heat race earlier on tonight. Carter, your points leader. Jacob Hubbard, 2nd in the 250 East Division. Could he have something to say about tonight's action? Casey Cochran looked good. There's Fjellberg. Bobby DeSell. Number 7 of Leclerc. Jeremy Smith, Seth Garrett, and Jeremy Siebold. One of these guys is about to win the inaugural Atlanta Motor Speedway Supercross. We're going to find out who it's going to be right about now. All right, everybody, get those revs up and buckle your seatbelts one last time. 20 minutes plus 1 lap on perhaps the gnarliest Supercross track we have ever raced in MX Simulator Professional Racing. And it's about to commence right now. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? Who is going to get this victory here at round 13? Let's find out. It's the Atlanta Motor Speedway Supercross, and it starts right now. Cochran and Leclerc side by side into the first corner. Leclerc with good control out of the turn is going to get the hole shot. Leclerc and Fjellberg 1-2. The two riders from Europe out front early on. As Leclerc, the rider out of France, leads Fjellberg, the rider out of Norway. It's Cochran who settles into third. Janice right there in fourth. I see Blakely. He's inside of the top 5 as well. And I'm looking for Haley, Lang, and Carter. Where are they on this first lap as Leclerc looks to extend it early on and try to get away before any chaos ensues? Mistake. Fjellberg goes off the track, and Cochran takes over second. A lot of chaos going on in the background. Still looking for your other championship contenders. This could end up being a huge night for Leclerc. Carter down at 13th early on. So your championship leader on the struggle bus a little bit. Blakely from out of nowhere goes for second on Cochran, and Fjellberg triples over top. Cochran lays it down. That is a brutal spot to be. He's in a bad spot right there, and riders getting hung up all over the place trying to get around him. But a nice move to go into third that actually was for Blakely, as Leclerc still leads from Fjellberg. It's Smith up into the 3 spot. Janice on the outside. Blakely hunting up the inside. And I think that's Devin Ryan back there in the 6th spot. 4 riders over the triple in unison. Smith looking maybe the best we've seen him all season long. Multi-time race winner here in Race Factor Gaming competition. Has not won a race yet this year, though. Trying to challenge here tonight in Atlanta. Janice all kinds of sideways. I think Blakely reacting to it got kicked off the track there. But a nice save for all of them as they corral it back together. There's so much chaos going on behind these guys, but it's Leclerc already opening up a 5-second lead after 1 full lap on Fjellberg. Smith still in third. Janice right here. He's in fourth ahead of Blakely in fifth. There comes Braden Carter. He is up into 6th now. He has made some nice moves to get up behind Blakely and ahead of Magnetti, your heat winner from earlier on tonight. So Blakely making some early moves and doing a nice job at corralling some huge championship points. There he goes, trying to do the quad again. I don't know how he hit that hard and didn't go down. Devin Ryan goes launching by him. And then Carter back up the inside of Ryan. They're going to be bar to bar over the triple here. Then you want to go 3, 3, 3 into the corner. And Carter the only one in that group to get it dialed in. Seems like the gap not that far out just yet. Fjellberg keeping it close. Just in case something were to happen to Leclerc out front. Fjellberg wants to be right there to capitalize on it. Jeremy Smith also in the mix. Janice and Blakely inside of the top 5. Oh, a mistake. Carter has spun it around. He's going to lose several positions. Still none of your other fellow championship contenders, though. Leclerc, definitely the big winner as it runs right now. Oh, Carter getting hit off the track, and it saves it. That was Devin Ryan getting collected with somebody else. I don't know how Carter missed that many timing gates and didn't have to go back there, but he's going to deal with an attack here from Hubbard around the outside. Carter looks like he's coming a bit unglued right now. Yeah, big kick in the whoops right there. And then down at the end of the whoops. So Hubbard up the inside. There goes Copeland by. Castellaneta. Here comes Seabolt and Magnetti all going by. Carter back to 13th. I'm trying to peek back. I think Haley, yeah, he's in 18th with Lang back there in 19th. So both riders having an atrocious night, and Leclerc looking at nothing but huge championship points as it runs. We'll have to see if anything else gets flipped upside down here in the early runnings before it kind of all gets settled in. All right, back out front with Leclerc. You can still see Fjellberg is back there with Smith, but Leclerc looks like he has re-established that lead that he had to open it out a little bit more, and Fjellberg just went down out of second. So Smith goes by, and Janice now moves up into third. And Fjellberg, a little case on the way out. Now back in fourth. Here is Brock Pearson as Cochran goes down. Hubbard lands on him. Bad spot for Pearson as Copeland piles in, and Carter hits Copeland off the track. Kind of stands them both up. Copeland trying to get back on as Carter will have made a pass there. And now Carter over the bars. That was a weird spot to go down. That was DeSalle going by, Sullivan, Caleb Hall, Magnetti again, and here comes Lang. So now Lang has got to be beside himself all the way down here, way at the back of the pack. Suddenly sees Carter falling back here with him. And Carter, you got to wonder here if desperation is going to set in a little bit, knowing Leclerc has the lead. It's a 29-point advantage for Carter, so he can't lose the championship lead to Leclerc tonight, but he's going to lose so many points as it stands. He's going to gain a couple spots back. I think that's Sullivan down with Copeland. But now Lang right on the back of Carter. And you got to wonder if Lang might take the advantage here to put the 19 machine on the ground as he's trying to go forward. This is now your battle for 13th on the track. And so far, no forward progress by Haley behind these guys. He's still down, and I believe 18th behind Hall. So these guys catching up. A couple riders down. Castellaneta and Cochran, I think it was. And Carter's going to go over top of Magnetti into 10th, I think that is. And Lang going to move into 12th. Jeremy Smith only 5 seconds off of Leclerc. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. But Carter trying to salvage everything right here. That's Pearson down with Seabolt. Carter going to get at least Seabolt, trying to get Pearson as well. But then he's going to go down. He OJ'd the quad mid-rhythm. And all of those spots he just got are going to go right back behind him, including Jack Haley is now in the mix. Jack Haley suddenly right on Carter. This is the race we were thinking of that could happen for Carter, for it all to fall apart. The unfortunate part is that it seems like it's fallen apart equally as bad for Haley and Lang, as all these guys are so far outside of the top 10. And Leclerc is really the only one benefiting that much from it. Boy, oh boy, this is crazy, but suddenly Haley can see Carter in front of him, and Lang now up to 10th. Riders down. That's Lang. Lang just got hit by Castellaneta. Somehow, Carter didn't hit any of them, but that's going to be Haley making the pass up into 11th, I think that is. And Carter trying to fight back. But Haley, who was buried for much of the first half of this race, is suddenly looking like he might find his way into the top 10 before long. 11-second lead for Leclerc on Smith. Janice now closing up on Smith, so let's go up to that battle. As Jeremy Smith is in second, but he just slides out a little bit. Janice is going to shoot by. And the number 130 Moto Playground effort is now up into second. I just saw Lang go down in the background. So that might spell about the end of it for Lang in terms of championship hopes. How about this for Matthias Janis moving up into the 2 spot? And we just have to call it like it is, but Leclerc is a bit known for falling apart in second halves of main events, particularly when the track gets rough, though he does do quite well at Daytona usually for some odd reason. And this is obviously a Daytona-ish track. So far, so good for Leclerc, but Janis going to be in a good spot if things go south as Smith goes down out of 3rd. That's going to allow Fjellberg back by. So Fjellberg back into 3rd. Smith drops to 4th. Here comes Blakely now in the whoops. He's in 5th. He's going to go slide out. Corrals it back together, still in 5th. Hubbard right behind him in 6th. Brock Pearson in 7th has Jack Haley trying to get by him. Pearson's going to go down. Haley's going to go down as well. And Carter's going to get those spots right back. So Haley, just when he finally was in a really good position again, crashes again. It's been a constant storyline for Haley this year. Even though he has pretty much been the fastest rider on the track as Carter goes down now. Seabolt goes by. There goes Sullivan. That was Magnetti, I think. Pearson. Lang, or that was Haley, I should say, and Cochran. Here comes Kohenauer behind. Carter, should remind you guys, he is playing on a laptop right now in Hawaii, so he's on vacation, still trying to hold on to this points lead. And just some of the things that happen really only in MotoOption Supercross. You wouldn't see this in competitive CSGO or something like that. All these guys would be playing LAN, and it'd be a big deal, but a little bit more of a lowbrow series, obviously. So Carter making do with what he can to try to hold on to this championship lead, and it seems like his setup tonight is not as he would have hoped. Pearson goes down, allowing Carter back by, but then Carter goes off the track, so Kohenauer goes by. Carter back to 10th. Kohenauer moves up to 9th. Carter's going to jump back by him, but then jump off the track. Gotta be careful. All right, so Haley now in a better position than he was. Not a great position still, only getting 1 point on Lang, where Leclerc is the one making the big inroads out front as he continues to lead here on to lap number 8. Janis still 2nd. It's Smith in 3rd. Blakely has moved up into, actually just dropped 4th. As Hubbard goes by. So Hubbard on the move right now, the 11. Lap time check with the SwapMotoLive.com effort. Is this going to be one of his best laps right here? 47.1 was his best, 47.2 this time by. And he's got his eyes set on Jeremy Smith ahead of him. So what is Hubbard going to be able to accomplish here? Trying to close that gap down on Smith. Gets the triple option quite clean. Going to land outside, almost off the track, but a nice job to corral it together. 2.8 seconds down. I think I heard a rider maybe going down. Carter, the other direction was the rider down. Just seeing him get going again. He has dropped back behind Sullivan into 10th. He's got a host of guys right behind him, so he really cannot afford another fall-off crash right now. Matthias Janis still running in 2nd, looking for his first career 450 podium. And Leclerc out front just trying to click off smooth laps. The benefit of this extremely long racetrack, at least for Leclerc's sake, is lap traffic is going to be minimal. He's going to hit maybe 4 or 5 guys at most. We only saw 2 riders entirely get lapped in the 250 main event. And Leclerc out front, setting the mode to cruise control at the moment, just trying to put in smooth laps and not think too much about what's going on behind him. Fjellberg slots up into 3rd. And there is Hubbard right there. Jeremy Smith behind that. And is that Seabolt coming in? Yeah, Seabolt's into the picture here. So all these guys right in front of Jack Haley right here represent an abundance of points if Haley can somehow skirt his way onto the podium here in the last 7 or so minutes. Fjellberg under attack, though. Hubbard closing in. Smith going to have to deal with Seabolt before long. This guy's on the very edge of braking and downsiding all these jumps. Smith actually started to close back up on Hubbard a little bit there, so I wonder if he got that section a little bit smoother. Hubbard is really putting the attack here on Fjellberg through the whoops side by side, and Hubbard's going to close the door. That is third for the number 11, but Fjellberg's going to try to fight right back. So Hubbard got around Fjellberg. Smith going to try to make the same pass. And Seabolt back there, and there comes Haley looking ahead at this and just eyeing up the opportunity. It's a golden chance as Seabolt goes down. Haley is able to skirt around him. Blakely also gets by Seabolt. I do not see Carter coming in the background at all right now. There is Sullivan, Cohenauer, Hall, Magnetti, Castaneda, Lang. Carter is in 15th behind Lang right now. This is absolutely going to flip this championship upside down in such a hurry. Not only is Leclerc going to be right back in the thick of this, but as it runs, Haley's making up quite a bit of points. And it's not over. Haley still has a good chance to get on the podium here. And sitting 24 points down of Carter, I mean, he is going to more than half that gap. This is going to get so interesting here with 4 rounds to go. And essentially 3 different guys now looking like they're going to have a legit shot at this title. I think Lang might be just about looking at the end of his ride. But we'll see. I mean, he is still ahead of Carter. Smith makes a mistake, so that's another spot for Haley. He's up into 5th now. And he's going to try to size up Fjellberg ahead of him for 4th. And before long, might be looking at Hubbard ahead for 3rd. So we've got a little under 4 minutes and a lap to go. Fjellberg is going to try his best to hold off Haley for as long as he can. But the way Haley has been charging through the field, Hubbard sideways off the track. Big mistake for the 11. Gets a crowd together and continues on. A lot of time lost, though, and Haley is going to be definitely eyeing that up. Let's go on board with Haley as he tries to close down on Fjellberg here. Double-double through the sand. 43.5, his best at 44.6 last time by. Let's see if the lap times are dropping, though, late in the race. Track kind of wears in a little bit. Lays down a 45.7, but ahead of him a 46.7 and a 45.7 out of Hubbard, actually. So Hubbard, even with that mistake, still opened up the gap last time by on Fjellberg specifically. Haley, the man trying to close this gap down, has eaten alive Fjellberg's gap in almost no time here. Going to try a couple different options to see what he can make happen. Haley's end goal here obviously has to be to get to Janice for 2nd. Rider down on the outside. That was Hubbard. And a mistake for Fjellberg. Haley just like that up into 3rd, 6 seconds down of Janice. And that gap is going to come down as well because Janice made a couple mistakes. So Haley just like that is into 3rd, 5 seconds off of 2nd place in this main event. And that is going to be huge for the championship as Fjellberg now goes down. He sends Devin Ryan across the track, and Seabolt is going to shoot by all of these guys, as will Jeremy Smith. So Seabolt goes to 4th. Jeremy Smith now up into 5th again. And Hubbard back to 6th. Fjellberg 7th. Blakely 8th. Sullivan 9th. Lang is up to 10th, doing a salvage ride right now. Magnetti 11th. Castaneda 12th. Hall 13th. Cohenauer 14th. Carter is still in 15th. Holy smokes, is this championship going to flip upside down? No, Haley down at the end of the whoops. Oh, that's going to hurt him bad. Seabolt by, Fjellberg by, and Hubbard by, and Smith went by. So Janice now almost locked into second. Haley has to pass all of these guys back to get third. Smith just made another huge mistake. And that's going to close all these guys up. Fjellberg puts Smith on the ground. No prisoners taken there whatsoever. So that's going to give Haley that position back. He's going to go back into sixth. I think Leclerc is moving into second into this championship tonight, which is absolutely insane. Haley's making a ton of mistakes and goes down again. Smith, Sullivan, Blakely all going by. Magnetti will be next, and then Lang after that. So Haley falling apart right now at the wrong time. He's not going to have any time left to make this back because time is just about to expire. Leclerc's 41-second lead as Hubbard just about through the front door in the rhythm section ends up sideways off the track. As the battle for third about to start brewing once again. It's not total lost cause just yet because this battle for third is going to get gnarly with Hubbard having to deal with Seabolt and Fjellberg coming from behind. Carter's still down in 15th, though, looking like that's where he will stay. Seabolt, really nice job to charge forward here. White flag has waved, so time must have just expired as Leclerc checked in there. 33-second lead for Leclerc on Matthias Janis, and here is Hubbard in third that we're keeping an eye on. Can't believe how much this championship has seen momentum swings. They just keep coming. And Leclerc, who, for all intents and purposes, looked like he was completely out of the championship as of basically last round, has brought it right back into a realm of possibility as Hubbard almost through the front door there. And Seabolt going to notice that little mistake and close right up on him. Little mistake there for Seabolt. These guys 10 seconds off of Janis, so really no chance unless a big mistake out of Janis happens up the road. Hubbard's going deep into the corner. He's going to go off the track. He's going to try to rejoin safely, but it's going to cost him third as Seabolt goes by. Now Hubbard trying to remount an attack. They're going to double in. Over table for Hubbard. Downside that, and definitely Seabolt got that a lot cleaner through that rhythm section. Meanwhile, out front, Leclerc is going to do it again and kick off this triple header with a bang as Leclerc comes down and Alexis Leclerc wins at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What a ride for Matthias Janis here. Oh, Seabolt down. Seabolt down out of third. That's going to allow Hubbard by. Fjellberg goes through. And Seabolt is going to get up just as the four of Smith gets there. But we got to give credit where credit is due. Matthias Janis is going to get his first career 450 main event podium. A valiant ride here to finish second in this main event. Incredible stuff for the number 130 ride. And nicely done. I'm sure he'll be jived about this one. Second place on the night goes to Matthias Janis. And Hubbard will survive all that chaos at the end to get third. Fjellberg looks like he'll get fourth. Seabolt and Smith! Oh, they stand it up. Seabolt trying to fight back in the next corner, but Smith has the line and the option. Oh, Seabolt down again! And that's going to give Haley sixth. So Haley going to benefit right there. And Seabolt, did he just rage quit? Wow, Jeremy Seabolt is going to give points right there to Braden Carter by rage quitting before the flag as Sullivan goes by. Lang is trying to get Blakely at the line. Blakely 8th, Lang 9th, Magnetti 10th. Castellaneta will be 11th. Caleb Hall will get 12th in this one. Kohenauer will be 13th. And Carter is going to get 14th because of that Seabolt disconnect. So let's try to work all this out right now because this is freaking incredible how this championship is going to shape up here. So regardless of where he was, Carter had a 24-point lead on Haley, a 26-point lead on Lang, and a 29-point lead on Leclerc as he crosses there in 14th and is confirmed in 14th. Lang jumps to 7th around Blakely. So Lang going to get 7th on the night. Haley gets 6th and Leclerc wins. So Haley gets the win. Lang gets 7th. Excuse me. Haley gets 6th. And Carter going to come home in 14th spot. So Leclerc picks up the 26 points for the win. And Lang picks up 16 points for his 7th. Haley picks up 17 points for his 6th. And Carter will pick up 9 points. So Leclerc, who was 29 points down, is going to gain 17, it looks like. No, sorry. Yeah, 17 points in the championship to only be 12 points down of Carter. Haley, who was 24 down, gains 8 points in the championship. So he will be 16 down. And Lang, who was 26 down, gains 16 points. No, he gains, sorry, trying to do quick math here. He gains 7 points. So he will be 19 down in the championship. So, going into the next round, Leclerc moves up into 2nd in the standings. And he is 12 back of Carter. So Carter with the championship lead. Leclerc now 2nd, 12 points down of Carter. Haley moves to 3rd in the championship, 16 points back of Carter. And Lang remains 4th, 19 points back of Carter. There are 4 riders separated by 19 points in this championship with just 4 rounds to go. If that doesn't get you guys excited, I don't know what will. This is going to be a gnarly championship to round out this, or gnarly series here to round out this championship. Final 4 rounds coming up, and a reminder of our season schedule. We'll be back here live next Wednesday, April 14th, for round 2 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, round 14 of the championship. And then the week after that, round 15 at Atlanta, all the way wrapping it up on May 5th in Rice Eccles Stadium, Salt Lake City, Utah. For those that 17th round of the series. 19 points separating our top 4 in the championship. Can't imagine a better situation than that with 4 rounds to go. And Carter going to have to do some serious salvaging after a frustrating 14th place finish here tonight. Well, want to give a big thank you to all of you guys here who tuned in tonight watching live here on Start Your Systems. Of course, I appreciate the support as always, but all of our sponsors on board with us, including R Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. That's eatrjerky.com. And use the code SYS20, SYS20 to get 20% off your order over there. Thank you guys for coming on board the stream this year. And yeah, go get yourself some tasty beef jerky from the guys over at rjerky.com. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll be back next Wednesday night for round 14 of the championship. It's Atlanta 2, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Again, we're very excited to be back, and hopefully you will join us then. But we're going to sign off for now, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday for Atlanta 2. Bye-bye for now.
Wow.